Chapter 1199. NBSP to read this book. What are you talking about? I'm not that kind of person, Night Sorrow said speechlessly. Following this, Mandela told Night Sorrow that his current level was not high enough and that he needed to be a mid-level sovereign king to be able to cultivate the death annihilation / Moreover, he needed to comprehend it by analogy because Night Sorrow did not have the death attribute. I know. I haven't mastered the Qing Emperor's reincarnation / that master taught me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Good that you know. Send me a message if you need anything, Datura said and hung up the call. Night Sorrow came out of the secret training room and took out 2 jars of wine. He then asked the servants to prepare some dishes. Uncle Summer, I'm sorry that you got hurt because of me. I can only offer you these 2 jars of wine, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, please don't say that. It's my fault. I didn't expect a powerful figure to take action. I'm really not his match, Summer City said as he stood up. Uncle Summer, please don't say that. Night Sorrow understands some things. Night Sorrow poured wine for Summer City. When Night Sorrow and Summer City were drinking, Green Phoenix and Green Phoenix came. They came to visit when they heard that Night Sorrow had returned. Night Sorrow also invited them to sit down and drink. The war this time is a crisis. The crisis was passed with the help of Junior Brother Yi. However, Junior Brother Ye's own crisis is also a problem. I'm not being hypocritical. I truly hope that Junior Brother Yi can sit in the position of commander of the army. Qing Wan said. It's good that you don't reject me. I'll do my own thing. I won't fight for things that I shouldn't. Advertisement. Night Sorrow expressed his opinion. Yeah, there's nothing to fight for. You're the #1 commander of Dynasty. Even if there's a big war, we'll be prepared to fight. You'll be behind us, Green Phoenix said. When it's time for the 9 Heavens Army to fight, we will not cower. Night Sorrow will not cower either. Night Sorrow nodded. Actually, I'm your senior brother. I just took some detours. Fortunately, I'm back on track. I'm in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. If you need my help, I won't be stingy, Qing Lin said. This is what His Majesty wants to see the most. Your Highnesses, the Crown Prince and the Princess, the most important thing for His Majesty to accept a disciple is their character. Whether it is Her Highness Sandalwood or His Highness Night Sorrow, there is no problem with this. The onlooker sees more clearly. Your Highnesses are overthinking. Summer City said. Qing Lin and Qing Wan cupped their hands towards Summer City. After experiencing some things, they also understood some things. Night Sorrow, thank you for saving Qing Yuan. Qing Lin poured a glass of wine for Night Sorrow. While Night Sorrow and the others were drinking, the Qing Emperor and Shen Daozi were chatting. Your Majesty, why don't you ask His Highness Night Sorrow about the agreement he made with the Dark Dominator? Shen Daozi was a bit suspicious. He was worried that there might be something that would harm the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Chapter 4H4. Although Night Sorrow doesn't deliberately cultivate the way of the noble, he cultivates virtue in his daily life. If he says he didn't do anything against virtue, then he didn't. He could make up a reason, but he didn't. What? Because a man can support both heaven and earth. He disdains lying, the Qing Emperor said. That's true. If he has a virtuous body, then there's no problem with virtue. I'm just curious, Shen Daozi said. There are some things that you don't understand, but the Dark Dominator does. She made the right choice. Besides, she won't gain anything by killing Night Sorrow's doppelganger. She doesn't care about offending Zhang Taiyang, but it doesn't make sense for her to become my enemy for no reason, the Qing Emperor said. This woman is ruthless. She killed Zhang Taiyang's doppelganger with 1 strike. She's decisive and powerful, Shen Daozi said. Of course. She's one of the most powerful Sky Masters. Besides, Zhang Taiyang crossed the line. No matter what conflicts we have with the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's kingdom, it's the Eastern District of the world of Samsara. If he wants to cause trouble in the Eastern District, neither the Red Emperor nor the Dark Dominator will tolerate it, the Qing Emperor said. That's right. This is one of the reasons why the Eastern District takes up the most cultivation time in the Samsara Palace. Shen Daozi nodded. He understood that this was the big picture. The Eastern District was fighting fiercely, but if other people came, the 3 parties wouldn't tolerate it. Then the Qing Emperor gave an order. If the Dark Abyss property in the Qing Emperor's kingdom was not excessive, they would turn a blind eye and not expel it. Shen Daozi didn't understand, but he still carried out the order. The Qing Emperor knew that the Dark Dominator, Datura, must have found out about Night Sorrow's secret, so he chose to support Night Sorrow. He thought that was why Night Sorrow didn't want to talk about it. Master, I plan to go out for a walk and settle down. Then I'll go to the Samsara Palace to cultivate. If I can take another step forward, I'll be able to help you in the future. There are many battles now and I can't get involved, Sandalwood said. Go. Right now the heavenly Tao is changing. Many people will have opportunities. Your junior brother's appearance may have given you an opportunity. Of course it may also be bad luck. It's all up to you. The Qing Emperor nodded. I'll work hard. I was disheartened before but now I have a reason to fight. Junior brother is still weak. I want to protect him, Sandalwood said. Also, you've been in the Demon Ceiling Tower for 5 million years. People often come to see you, so you should do something. We have a long lifespan, but 5 million years is enough to prove something. If you like her, then marry her, the Qing Emperor said. Master, you know, I'm going to do that. Sandalwood's determined face looked a little unnatural. The Qing Emperor waved his hand and dismissed Sandalwood. The Qing Emperor fell into deep thought. He didn't tell anyone about the pressure in his heart, not even Xian Daozi or Summer City. The main reason was that the matter was too big. When he found out that Night Sorrow had supreme attributes, the Qing Emperor decided to take the matter on his shoulders and suppress him. Now he knew that the Dark Dominator was also willing to stand in this line. However, some things happened too suddenly. Because of Zhang Taiyang's appearance and interference, the situation became difficult to control. The Qing Emperor felt that he needed to see Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had made contributions, so there was no problem with his cultivation in the Samsara Palace. Night Sorrow's original body couldn't come out. When the Qing Emperor appeared, Night Sorrow and the others were still drinking. When they saw the Qing Emperor appear, they all stood up and bowed to greet him. Very good. If you can sit together and drink, it means that many things have passed. A person must be open-minded. Nothing is serious except death. Alright, you guys go back. Night Sorrow, I have something to say to you. The Qing Emperor looked at his children and walked into the hall. Night Sorrow nodded and followed. He didn't know what the Qing Emperor wanted to say. Chapter 1200. For a book, please go to $. After entering the main hall, the Qing Emperor waved his hand and set up a bounded domain. Sit down. There are some things that you didn't tell me and that's the right thing to do. The appearance of a supreme attribute will cause a bloodbath, and the giants won't allow it because once you succeed, you will suppress them. No one wants to see such a situation. I support you because a master and disciple are like father and son. Mandela must have her reasons for supporting you. I won't ask about these things, but your own safety is very important, said Emperor Qin. Sorry, I didn't mean to hide it from you. I know it's a big deal, so I plan to wait until the void attribute enters the king's realm. Night Sorrow was a little embarrassed. Don't leave the Samsara Palace when you enter the king's realm. You have millions of merits now. You can exchange them for cultivation time later. You can't cultivate in the Samsara Palace. You can use your doppelganger to fight in the outside world. With the Annihilation Bead, it doesn't matter if your doppelganger is destroyed. The Qing Emperor said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow, the world of Samsara is very complicated. Some forces are even more powerful. I can't touch them. For example, the celestial sect in the southern region of the world of Samsara. They don't have any Sky Masters, but they are still a top force. No Sky Master dares to make trouble for them because no one can afford to. Therefore, even a Heaven Master would have his concerns. What I want is for you to rise up safely and achieve success in your cultivation, the Azure Emperor said earnestly. Read the full text. I've troubled you, Master. Night Sorrow bowed again. You don't have to be so polite with me. If the world of Samsara is really chaotic, you can go to other worlds. I'm not familiar with the Xinwu Great World, but I have good friends in the Xianhuang world. But it's still early. The Qing Emperor said. After talking with Night Sorrow for a while, the Qing Emperor left. He came to emphasize the importance of this matter to Night Sorrow, because Night Sorrow was too young. Night Sorrow also fell into deep thought. He knew the matter was serious. It was Zhang Taiyang's irresponsible words that dragged him into the deep pit. The artifact of the Heavenly Way was very powerful. It could increase the combat power of the Sky Masters by a lot. Whoever got it could become a top figure among the Sky Masters. Night Sorrow didn't have a chance to defend himself. But who would have thought that the Qing Emperor would have to think twice before causing trouble? If some small characters entered the Qing Emperor's city, the Qing Emperor wouldn't interfere. But if a monarch came to the Qing Emperor's city, there would be an explanation. Without a suitable reason, the Qing Emperor wouldn't be polite. Cultivating the way of the gentleman was good, but if someone had ulterior motives, there would only be one word for it: death. Yishang stayed in the 9-layer building and studied array formations every day. Sometimes he would refine pills and forge artifacts. He Chiu and Jun Xuanji were still taking orders. Yishang needed to fuse the array formations he had learned with artifact forging. In addition, he also needed to cultivate his proficiency in alchemy. The 9 secret slaughtering god formation was very profound. It wasn't something that could be mastered in a day or two. It also required a very deep foundation. Night Sorrow wasn't in a hurry. He just studied it every day. What surprised the people of Summer City was that Night Sorrow would go back to his room to rest every day. This shouldn't be normal. In fact, Night Sorrow was communicating with Dachira. On RH, Dachira had some changes. She liked to use the concentric crystal to chat with Night Sorrow. Even if she didn't have anything to do, she would talk for a while. Therefore, Night Sorrow would go back to his room to rest every day. In fact, he was talking to Dachira. Dachira was as gentle as water with Night Sorrow. However, she was extremely ruthless to others. She found the Moon Demon Realm Lord and killed her. However, she couldn't find the Tsangyun monarch. His original body was killed and only his clone was left. Therefore, she was extremely cautious and didn't appear. Luo, you don't have to worry too much. We can't find that fellow if he hides. Moreover, his original body was killed. The battle strength of his clone is also ordinary. If he dares to go to the Heaven Profound World, then the Black Heaven Monarch will be able to kill him. If you don't want to return to the Dark Abyss, then go to the small house beside the 7-Night Lake to rest. Night Sorrow looked at Dachira through the concentric crystal and said. At this moment, Dachira was still searching for the Tsangyun monarch in the Sky Dome realm. You call me a Luo. That's right, they are looking for trouble with you because of the soul cultivating liquid. I want it too. I haven't used the soul cultivating liquid before. It can still increase my strength. Dachira said. Alright, then go to the small house beside the lake in the 7-Night City. When you arrive, send me a message and I will send it to you. However, you are already a Sky Master. Can you still increase your strength? Night Sorrow asked. I haven't used the soul cultivating liquid before. Therefore there is still room for improvement. After my strength increases, some bastards won't be my match. That includes that bastard Red Emperor. If Zhan Taiyang continues to jump around happily, I will go and kill his original body. Dachira said with a smile. Alright, inform me when you arrive at the 7-Night City. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow could feel that Dachira's attitude towards him had undergone a fundamental change. It was even a little clingy. However, Dachira was genuinely good to him and was also thinking for him. Therefore, if he could help, Night Sorrow would definitely not refuse. With nothing to do, Night Sorrow rested for a while before continuing to study the magic array. When he felt the concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrate, Night Sorrow stood up and said, Uncle Summer, I will return to the city in the sky and get some wine. You don't need me to follow you? Summer City asked. No need. I will just use the teleportation array. No one will be able to intercept or discover me. I will be back soon. Night Sorrow said. Alright then. Your Highness will return once you are done with your matters. It is not safe outside. Summer City nodded. Night Sorrow took the teleportation array and teleported to the 7-Night City. Then he went to the small lakeside building. In the small lakeside building, Dachira, who was wearing a black dress embroidered with Dachira, stood facing the wind. Why didn't you take the concentric crystal? Dachira glared at Night Sorrow. Why are you throwing a tantrum over this? I have other people around me. I knew you were here so I came directly. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You look very spirited in your black battle robe. It suits me very well. Dachira looked at Night Sorrow and said. Her black dress was embroidered with a golden mandala, while Night Sorrow's black robe was embroidered with golden edges. This is the battle robe of His Highness of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In the past I did not wear it. However, Uncle Xia said that if I don't wear it, others will not recognize me and will not respect me. After saying that, Night Sorrow handed the 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid to Dachira. At least you have a conscience. You took it out without me asking. I will refine it myself. In the future, when my doppelganger has matters to handle, take me to the Spacetime Pagoda and use time acceleration to refine it. That way it won't waste my time, Dachira said. Alright, I will send you there. After saying that, Night Sorrow led Dachira to the teleportation array. They teleported to Sky City and to the lakeside. I will talk to Little Kong. In the future you can enter and leave as you wish, Night Sorrow said. At this moment, however, Datura's eyes were filled with surprise. Night Sorrow, the rumors are true. This is the Divine Clear Sky Pagoda. Chapter 1201. The website updates fast, the page is clean, and there are few advertisements. I like this kind of website the most. I must give a good review. Are you kidding me? It used to be called the Sky-Bearing Pagoda. After I got it, I changed its name to the Spacetime Pagoda. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, although it is now damaged, I am sure that it is the Haotian Godly Pagoda. Others might not be able to recognize it, but I can. When the Haotian Godly Pagoda caused a dispute, I also participated. I will not forget its aura. This is the Haotian Godly Pagoda. However, I don't understand why it is damaged. Datura said seriously. At this time, Night Sorrow was also stunned. He did not expect that a casual rumor from Zhang Taiyang would become true. This is a disaster. You must keep it a secret. Otherwise, the world will really be in chaos. Datura said. Night Sorrow nodded. He also remembered something. He had upgraded the Dragon Cauldron to a king artifact, but the Spacetime Pagoda did not. This was because he did not understand the array within the Spacetime Pagoda. Then Night Sorrow and Shao Kong talked for a while. The Spacetime Pagoda was open to Datura. Okay, take this first. Go to Seven Night City and wait for me. My clone will be there soon. Datura handed the concentric crystal to Night Sorrow. Then he flashed into the Spacetime Pagoda. Night Sorrow did not stay in the Spacetime Pagoda for long. He greeted his parents, took some tea and wine, and talked to his wife. He told her to rest well and told her not to leave the Nine Regions world before returning to Seven Night City. Almost all the books you want to read are here. It is much more stable than the average website. The updates are faster and there are no advertisements. After waiting for a while in the lakeside building, Datura appeared. The clone was similar to the original body. Night Sorrow handed the concentric crystal to Datura. The original body is similar to the avatar. You can't tell them apart. Of course. I'm different from other cultivators. I'm a mandala. My main body is the main stem while my clones are the offshoots. Our strength is about the same. I estimated that refining one drop will take 20 years. Refining all of it will take around 50 to 60 years, Datura said. Didn't you say that refining a drop of soul cultivation liquid takes 100 years? How did you do it in 20 years? Night Sorrow asked in surprise. That is for ordinary sovereigns. I have the death attribute and I have a perfect will. I can kill sovereigns at will. Naturally, we are on a different level, Datura said with a smile. All right, if there's nothing else, I'll head back, Night Sorrow said. Can't you stay for a while? Datura asked Night Sorrow. Looking at Datura's suffocating face, Night Sorrow shook his head. Luo, I'm under a lot of pressure right now. Okay, then go. Datura nodded with a smile. In fact, Datura knew why Night Sorrow was under so much pressure. She knew that Night Sorrow was overcautious and did not know how to get along with her. When a beauty was placed in front of him, he did not know how to get along with her. He was at a loss. Datura liked this feeling. Night Sorrow did not reject her and restrained her like a child. Datura also knew that after meeting Night Sorrow, some of the wheel of fate had started to spin. For example, countless years had passed, and her strength had not improved at all. However, after meeting Night Sorrow for a short time, she had obtained the soul cultivation liquid and improved her strength again. Night Sorrow returned to the 9-layer pagoda and patted his chest. Facing Datura, he was under a lot of pressure. Sitting in the main hall of the 9-layer pagoda, Night Sorrow was thinking about another problem. That was the Clear Sky God Pagoda. Normally, a heavenly Tao divine artifact should not appear in a small world like the Nine Regions world. However, when Yishang thought about it, he felt that the Clear Sky Divine Pagoda might have fallen into the profound heaven world when they were madly fighting for it back then. He wondered which unlucky bastard of the South Sky Empire had obtained it and was killed when he went on a killing spree. The Clear Sky Divine Pagoda then fell into the Nine Domains world and became the #1 treasure of the Qingtian region. After many twists and turns, it fell into his hands. Night Sorrow did not know how to restore the Clear Sky God Pagoda, which was also the Spacetime Treasure Pagoda. He was powerless now because he could not solve the time array and the space array. The 9 Underworld Slaughtering God array was an ancient array that involved time array and space array. It even had the element of destruction. However, he had just come into contact with it. He did not know when he would be able to figure it out. A few days later, Dachura told Knight Sorrow that a group of blood-robed guards had infiltrated the Qing Emperor's dynasty. They were now staying in a restaurant not far from the 9-layer pagoda and could be mobilized at any time. In addition, the monarch-ranked blood-robed guards were under strict surveillance in the Qing Emperor's dynasty and would only arrive later. The blood-robed guards were on the same level as the Qing Emperor's guard. It would be difficult for them to infiltrate the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In addition, Dachura also told Knight Sorrow that the Qing Emperor's dynasty had loosened the restrictions on the exchange of resources from the Dark Abyss. Some of the businesses in the Dark Abyss were not suppressed. Knight Sorrow smiled as he lay on the bed and held the concentric crystal. It seems that the Qing Emperor's dynasty has changed their strategy. Master might have his reasons for doing so. That should be the case. There is another batch of resources in that restaurant. You can go and get it later. If others follow closely, send Hong Yi or Lan Ying. I have already instructed the blood-robed guards to recognize Hong Yi and Lan Ying. They can go on your behalf, Dachura said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that Dachura had already considered some things. On this day, while Knight Sorrow was deducing the array, the Qing Emperor's guard came to inform Knight Sorrow that the Qing Emperor wanted him to go to the Azure Sky Pavilion. Knight Sorrow did not know what was going on. He tidied up his robes and went to the Azure Sky Pavilion. Take a look at this soft armor. Do you like it? You refined a half-body armor, so its defense is not good enough. This is a monarch-grade soft armor that I refined for you. The Qing Emperor took out a set of soft armor and placed it in front of Knight Sorrow. Thank you for your hard work, Master, Knight Sorrow said as he bowed. At the time, I said that as long as you could take down the Sky Tiger Pass, I would refine a monarch-grade armor for you. I never break my promises to others, let alone to my disciples, the Qing Emperor said with a smile. Thank you, Master. Where is my senior brother? Why don't I see him? Knight Sorrow was surprised that he did not see Sandalwood. Your senior brother has been in the Devil Sealing Tower for 5 million years. He has been suppressed for 5 million years. He accompanied me during this period of time to fulfill his filial piety. He has his own path to explore, and there are other matters that he needs to resolve. After the calamity is over, a new sky awaits him. As for the other matters, I don't want to explain too much. In the future, the Qing Emperor's dynasty will not seal off the Dark Abyss. However, there are some things that cannot be overdone. If you can go, tell her what I think, the Qing Emperor said. Knight Sorrow bowed. He understood why. Some words would be meaningless if spoken directly. Knight Sorrow knew it, the Qing Emperor knew it, and Dachura knew it. That was enough. In addition, I also received some news that the Black Fiend Valley has made a move. Their target is you. Some people have already infiltrated our Qing Emperor's dynasty. Although I have put up a defense, it is not a foolproof plan. So, you have to be careful. They all want the Qing Emperor's pagoda. They are crazy, the Qing Emperor muttered. Chapter 1202. Master, Knight Sorrow said looking around. Tell me. Xian Daozi is my old brother. You have to call him Uncle Xian Daozi, Qing Emperor said. Zhan Taiyang was right about the Haotian godly pagoda. It is in my hands but it is damaged, Knight Sorrow said. Are you saying that the space-time pagoda you placed in the 9-layer pagoda with the ability to accelerate time was the Haotian godly pagoda? Qing Emperor stood up in shock. Yes, but it is damaged. It is missing a part, Knight Sorrow said. Zhan Taiyang is such a despicable person. You guessed right. It is damaged. Can it be repaired? Qing Emperor asked. I don't know. When I entered the king's realm, I upgraded all my weapons and armor, but the space-time pagoda could not. The implement spirit told me that the space-time pagoda was damaged, Knight Sorrow said. Your Majesty, my divination skills are not very good now because of what happened to your highness. I still need a few years to recover, Xian Daozi said, bowing to Qing Emperor. Knight Sorrow, you can't rush this. When your uncle Xian Daozi recovers, I will help you with the divination and see where the Haotian godly pagoda is damaged. You have to find it, Qing Emperor said. He was extremely shocked. This was the blessing of the heavens. He actually had a heavenly divine artifact. It was something that others could not see even if they wanted to. Thank you, Master, but I am not in a hurry. I'm still weak now. I should improve my strength first, Knight Sorrow said. Good. That is a good attitude. Qing Emperor nodded. Then Knight Sorrow took the soft armor and left. He could not use the full power of the monarch-grade soft armor, but it was definitely better than the king-grade armor. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, Qing Emperor poured a cup of tea. This disciple is good at cultivation and character. I don't need to worry about him, but he is so troublesome. Is your majesty not happy? Sandalwood and the other two imperial highnesses might have accumulated more resources than he did in other aspects, but when it came to destiny they were far inferior. Xian Daozi said. Yes, Datura also saw this. Let's not talk about this anymore. As for the Empire of Darkness, it's best to relax as much as possible. Because of Night Sorrow's existence, Datura won't mess around. She won't make Night Sorrow unhappy, said Qing Emperor. The only original version. P equals all of them are pirates, version Xian Daozi nodded. He knew that Qing Emperor and Datura had already reached a consensus on some matters, and the starting point was Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow returned to the 9 grand floors, he entered the secret cultivation room and recognized the flexible armor as its master. Qing Emperor's craftsmanship was not something Night Sorrow could compare to. After refining, the flexible armor became a bracelet. It was called the 9 heavy armor. While Night Sorrow was studying the armor, Nu Lin, 7 Ju, Qi Wang and Storm arrived. Their expressions did not look good. What's wrong? Why haven't I received any battle reports? Night Sorrow stood up and asked. Your Majesty, please give justice to the former Sky Tiger army. 7 Ju got down on one knee. Qi Wang and Storm also got down on one knee. Get up and talk. What happened? Nu Lin, tell me. What happened? Night Sorrow asked after helping them up. Is Chidu? After the soldiers of Sky Tiger Pass returned because of their oath, they did not want to be soldiers anymore. However, the Red Emperor's Chidu, who is in charge of law, felt that this was betrayal and killed them all. Nu Lin was very angry. Shameless. Night Sorrow waved his hand and broke the tea set on the table in front of him. He's an animal. He has never led an army before. He doesn't know how to be a soldier. What he did this time is infuriating, 7 Ju said. In the end, it's my fault. I will kill Chidu. Night Sorrow was infuriated. The soldiers of the Sky Tiger Legion were all unyielding men, yet they had been killed by Chidu just like that. We are here to ask for battle. This time, Chidu has asked for battle and formed an army. Now he and Chihua's army are coming from 2 directions, forming a pincer attack on Heaven Tiger Pass. 7 Absolute said. Let the brothers of the Black Tiger army grieve. They don't have to worry about this. Let them rest in the 9 heavenly floors. I will lead the army. Night Sorrow made a decision. Your Highness, you worry too much. When Chidu attacked our brothers, the Black Tiger army had nothing to do with the Red Emperor's kingdom. We only want to avenge our brothers. We will not avoid battle, 7 Ju said. That's good. Go back and organize the battle report. I will be there soon, Night Sorrow said. Nu Lin left with 7 Ju and the others. Night Sorrow's emotions had not calmed down. He was the one who broke Sky Tiger Pass. That was why Chidu's army was massacred. It had a lot to do with him. Your Highness, you have things to do now. You have to be extra careful when you go out. It is possible that there are a few experts hiding in the enemy's army, Summer City said. I know, but this time I have to give the soldiers an explanation, Night Sorrow said. Then Night Sorrow brought Summer City, Red Yi, Laning, and Fei Xiu to Sky Tiger Pass. They led the Qing Emperor's guardian team. When Night Sorrow arrived, the 7 armies of the 9 Heaven Army gathered in place. Brothers, we are soldiers who protect our country. The Sky Tiger Army used to be soldiers too. However, the Red Emperor's kingdom did things that angered both man and God. Soldiers can die on the battlefield and be slaughtered innocently. I cannot accept that. So I have to fight. I want the Red Emperor's kingdom to pay the price for disrespecting our soldiers, Night Sorrow said to the group of soldiers. The reply to Night Sorrow was the sound of armor being knocked. Nu Lin, send out scouts. Investigate for me, Night Sorrow said to Nu Lin. Night Sorrow then went to the ceiling sky matrix. He opened a small gap in the matrix that allowed only one person to pass through. Then he returned to the headquarters and continued to write the battle report. After he finished writing the battle report and stamped it with his seal, Night Sorrow asked Nu Lin to go to the military headquarters to review it. Legions had to be approved by the military headquarters to go to war. However, under normal circumstances, the battle report from the commander of a legion would not be rejected. After the military headquarters discussed it, they would report it to the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor only took a quick look at it because legions would not go to war without reason. After the battle report was written, Night Sorrow waited for the military headquarters reply and the scouts' reply. Then, Night Sorrow checked the Ceiling Sky Matrix and the Ceiling Sky Matrix. When he was in the Matrix, Night Sorrow and Datura chatted for a while. Datura did not object to Night Sorrow declaring war on the Red Emperor's kingdom. She reminded Night Sorrow not to be tricked by the hidden people in the Legion. This was not the intention of the Red Emperor's kingdom. Now that the eastern region of the world of Samsara was turbulent, it was possible for outsiders to sneak into the Legion. After returning to the commander's mansion, Yi Shang pondered. Right now, he had to focus all his efforts on cultivating the will of nothingness. After that, he could tell the Reincarnation Palace that he needed to combine wills. At that time, he would be able to comprehend the three types of wills together. Chapter 1203. Now, Night Sorrow needed to learn the basics of the will of nothingness. Then, his Emperor Reincarnation / could be upgraded to the King level. His combat power would be greatly increased. When the Qing Emperor used the Emperor Reincarnation / it used high-level attributes as its core and combined with other normal attributes. However, when it was used by Night Sorrow, it used the Supreme Attribute as its core. The two were not on the same level. Night Sorrow felt that if his Earth Reincarnation / was also trained to the King level, he could kill a mid-level king. He would not be in such a difficult situation like when he fought Wuxia. While Night Sorrow was thinking, Nu Lin, who had gone to ask for instructions, came back. The military had agreed and so had the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor's dynasty had taken down Jianghu Pass, but it was currently blocked by two armies. Jianghu Pass could only be used as a defensive fortification. It could not be used as an attack platform. In addition, Qing Lin and Qing Wan had also come. The Empire was at war and they were willing to cooperate with Night Sorrow. That's good. You guys attacked the other defensive line of the Red Emperor's country. Ever since the Red Emperor's Sky Tiger army had problems, the army's strength has decreased. If you guys attack, the Jianghu Pass will be weaker. However, your army is not full yet. There are only 3 armies. Be careful, Night Sorrow said. Okay, then we will go back and prepare. We will go out. Qing Wan nodded. One more thing. People die in war. It is the fate of soldiers to die on the battlefield. However, after you win, just destroy the city lord's residence. Kill the city lord and plunder his resources. Don't hurt the innocent people. Night Sorrow thought for a while and reminded them. Qing Lin and Qing Wan nodded and left Jianghu Pass. Don't hurt the innocent. This is very similar to father. Our courage and magnanimity are still lacking, Qing Lin said. That's right. We can't help but admire his ability. His magnanimity is also something that ordinary people don't have. Also, I admire him for being able to return safely from the dark abyss. Of course, I don't think he will do anything that will harm his dignity and betray the Empire, Qing Wan said. He will tell father the details, but there is no need to explain it to others. Let's go back and prepare for the attack. The 9 Heaven Army and Night Sorrow were famous in the last war. This might be our chance, Qing Lin said. Qing Lin said. He also had dreams of revenge in his heart because the children of Emperor Qing also needed to stand up. They could not just be famous disciples. While waiting for the scouts' battle report, Night Sorrow familiarized himself with the 9 heavy armor. The Azure Supreme the Arch knew what Night Sorrow's element was. Hence, within the 9-layered armor there were space and time arrays. This was a level that Night Sorrow had yet to explore. As long as Night Sorrow activated his energy, the space and time arrays would be activated. Most of the attacks would be blocked. It depended on the level of the attacker. 2 days later, the scouts reported that the Red Emperor's 2 armies were here. The other lines of defense were relatively empty. In terms of defense, the Chiwa army's defense was better. The people under the Chidu army were a bit messy. Continue scouting. The Chiwa army is secondary. Keep an eye on the Chidu army. Don't give me a chance. If I do, I'll kill him, Night Sorrow ordered. The Chidu army's actions had touched Night Sorrow's bottom line. Night Sorrow waited. He waited for Qing Lin and Qing Wan army to move first. Then he would see how the Chiwa army and the Chidu army would react. No matter who moved first, he would deal with the Chidu army. As long as the 2 armies were separated, that would be his chance. The 7 armies within the Heaven Tiger Pass were training intensely every day. They were cultivating the combined attack formation. In the previous battle, everyone had seen the might of the combined attack formation. It was a treasure that could kill enemies and save lives. While Yi Shang was waiting, the Crimson Emperor Kingdom received the news that Qing Lin and Qing Wan were going out on 2 fronts. They moved quickly and attacked the cities on the border of the Crimson Emperor Kingdom. The Red Emperor held a meeting. Father, it's obvious that our two armies are outside the Heaven Tiger Pass. The Qing Emperor's empire feels that they have an opportunity, Crown Prince Akatsuki said. In the Crimson Emperor nation, apart from the Crimson Emperor, Qi Tianxin had the most authority and prestige. He wasn't the eldest son of the Crimson Emperor. He was bestowed the title of Crown Prince because of his outstanding talents. He was considered a latecomer, and his strength and ability were at the top of the Crimson Emperor's sons. No matter if it was the arrogant Qi Du or Qi Hua who had strong military abilities, they all admired Qi Tianxin because he was a peak-level monarch. He was infinitely close to a peak-level monarch. A peak-level monarch was at the same level as Emperor Qing and Emperor Crimson. It's not entirely because of that. Qi Du killed the soldiers who failed the Heaven Tiger Pass. The Black Tiger Army of the Nine Heaven Army could not accept it, the Red Emperor said. My king, if the Nine Heaven Army is angry, it shouldn't be Qing Lin and Qing Wan fighting, an official said. The commander of the Nine Heaven Army, Knight Sorrow, is the #1 commander of the Qing Emperor's empire. Qing Lin and Qing Wan armies are under his control. How does he want to fight? Qing Lin and Qing Wan, the two princes, must cooperate. Akatsuki looked at the official and said, the situation is obvious. If we move the two armies in front of the Heaven Tiger Pass, the Nine Heaven Army will attack. If we don't move the two armies, our armies won't be strong enough. How do you think we should solve this problem? The Red Emperor stood up from his throne. The Red Emperor knew this was the result of Qi Du's actions, but he never punished his son in front of other people. No matter how big a mistake he made, he would only scold him in private. He would not destroy his son's dignity. It did not matter if the Red Emperor was a good king or not, but he was a good father. Because of his way of doing business, he had nurtured several outstanding children. Father, after the Heaven Tiger Army was damaged, Qiwa's army is not strong enough. Qi Du's army is weak too. If we move one of the armies, Nine Heaven Army will destroy the remaining one. Akatsuki looked at the Red Emperor as he spoke. That makes sense. What do you think? The Red Emperor nodded. He knew Akatsuki was talking about their current predicament. I want to go to war. Akatsuki bowed to the Red Emperor. But you don't have an army. The Red Emperor looked at Akatsuki. I don't have an army, but I have the Heaven's Heart Prefecture soldiers. Although we are lacking in numbers, with 2 more armies, we can fight against any army. We can even destroy an army, Akatsuki said. Then it's decided. Let the military give you 2 armies from the Red Emperor City's city guard. We will form a new army called the Heaven's Heart Army. We know how strong the Heaven's Heart Prefecture soldiers are. You can go to war and solve this problem, the Red Emperor said. Then let me guard the Heaven Tiger Pass. Let Qiwa and Qi Du take care of the Green Phoenix and Green Unicorn armies, Akatsuki said. The Red Emperor nodded and agreed. The Qing Emperor's dynasty's intelligence system was very advanced. He told the information to Knight Sorrow. Rage Scale, you stay here. I will go and look after the Qi Du army. I don't care about the Heaven's Heart Army. This time I will take care of the Qi Du army. I will follow them. When the time is right, I will teleport and destroy the Qi Du army, Knight Sorrow said to Rage Scale. Chapter 1204. Commander, you can let someone else do this. There's no need for you to do it yourself, Newland said. I have to bear most of the responsibility for the deaths of the Sky Tiger Army soldiers. This cannot be avoided. You have to bear the consequences of your actions. Just do as I say. Knight Sorrow rejected Newland's suggestion. He had to kill Qi Du after that. Knight Sorrow set up a teleportation circle in the Sky Tiger Pass. The main reason was that the teleportation crystal in the Sky Tiger Pass main teleportation circle could not be lost. Using a teleportation crystal that could be cut out to save resources was enough. There was only one original, the others were all pirated copies. After setting up the teleportation circle, Knight Sorrow brought his men out of the Sky Tiger Pass. To make it less of a target, Knight Sorrow only brought Summer City, Facio, and the Scout. Red Coat and Blue Shadow left Knight Sorrow in the Sky Tiger Pass. After leaving the Sky Tiger Pass, Knight Sorrow closed the Sky Ceiling Circle. Then, under the guidance of the Scout, they went to the Qi Du army's area and set up an ambush. Your Highness, we don't know how they're going to deploy their armies. We only know that Akatsuki has formed an army. Will this plan work? Summer City asked. It will. No matter what, we just need to keep an eye on the Qi Du army. When the other 2 armies are unable to reinforce them, that will be our chance to kill them, Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow felt that no matter how the Red Emperor's armies were deployed, the three armies would not be able to move together. As long as the three armies split up and went to deal with Qing Lin and Qing Wan's armies, that would be his chance. As long as the Skyheart army and Chiwa army were 2 to 4 hours away from Chidu, he would dare to attack. Summer City nodded. He could see that Night Sorrow was determined to kill Chidu. Night Sorrow waited for news. He had spies by his side, and the spies' main bodies were in the Heaven Tiger Pass. If there were any battle reports, they would inform him immediately. The Red Emperor's army was very efficient. This was also Akatsuki's first time leading an army into battle. The Red Emperor's officials cooperated fully. In just 2 days, Akatsuki's men were marching towards Sky Tiger Pass. After hearing the report from the scout, Night Sorrow waved his arm. Very good, it seems like the army is changing their defense. Akatsuki's men Ma Chang will be blocking the front. However, at Heaven Tiger Pass, Chiwa and the Crimson Dew army will be leaving to block Qinglin and Qingwan. Once they move, it will be our chance. Perfect planning. This was Summer City's evaluation of Night Sorrow. He felt that Night Sorrow was always able to find the crux of the problem. Chidu was being targeted. This was bad luck. Chidu received the notice to wait for the Skyheart army to arrive. He would go and fight with the Qingwan army. Chidu was convinced by the Red Emperor's arrangements. Although Night Sorrow didn't give him face and he wanted to kill Night Sorrow, he knew that his men couldn't fight against the Nine Heaven army alone. I hope the Crown Prince can intimidate the Nine Heaven army and kill Night Sorrow. Sector Lord? Even a Sector Lord can fall. Chidu murmured. Night Sorrow wanted to deal with him. In his heart he also wanted to kill Night Sorrow. Because for countless years, no one dared to humiliate him. If we want to get rid of him completely, we still need to solve the problem of his original body. The old man beside Chidu said. This old man's name was Gan Qing. He was the personal bodyguard that the Red Emperor arranged for Chidu. He was also very strong. This Wang Dan is a Sector Lord. His original body is hiding in the Nine Regions world. It is indeed very difficult to kill him. At that time it was all because of that bitch Qingwan. If she didn't interfere, Night Sorrow might have surrendered to the Nine Heaven world. Chidu said. If the prince's performance is better, maybe there is a possibility of marriage. There is still a chance. Gan Qing said. He knew that his young master had always been thinking about Qingwan. Yes, after the war, I will find an opportunity to bring people to slaughter the Nine Heaven world. The Red Emperor's empire and the Qing Emperor's empire are opponents. What can we do if we attack the world they protect? Chidu's eyes were full of ferocity. This isn't appropriate. If the Qing Emperor's empire reacts strongly, then the subordinate world of our Red Emperor's empire will also be attacked. Gan Qing was a little worried. He was worried that if Chidu really did this, it would easily lead to very serious consequences. If the Red Emperor was really angry, then Chidu's position in the Red Emperor's empire would drop. He, as a protector, would not have any benefits. I will report it to my father. I may pay a price, but it will cause a knot in Night Sorrow's heart and a serious negative impact on his soul. It is worth it. After all, Night Sorrow is now the first commander of the Qing Emperor's empire. He is also the beloved disciple of the Qing Emperor. If something happens to Night Sorrow, his soul will be covered in dust and he will not be able to recover. I think it is still worth it. Chidu said his thoughts. After listening to Chidu's explanation, Gan Qing felt that it was quite appropriate. After all, Night Sorrow was a very important person in the Qing Emperor's empire. As for the Qing Emperor's empire attacking the subordinate world of the Red Emperor's empire, then the Red Emperor's empire would also fight back. It would be a lose-lose situation. In the end, the result would still be reconciliation. 2 days later, the Skyheart Corps arrived 200 miles away from the Sky Tiger Pass and set up camp. At the same time, the order from the Red Emperor's empire's army arrived. It ordered Chiwa and Chidu to lead their men to attack the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix Corps. If the Nine Heaven Corps appeared in the area attacked by the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix Corps, then the Skyheart Corps would rush over to help. After receiving the order, both Chiwa and Chidu moved and teleported to the nearest city. This caused Night Sorrow's plan to fail. He, Summer City, and Fei Xiu also went to the nearest city. After asking around, they found out that the Chidu Corps had teleported to Jinling City and that Jinling City was close to where the Green Phoenix Corps was attacking. Night Sorrow brought the few people around him and teleported to Jinling City. After arriving at Jinling City, Night Sorrow found out about the Chidu Corps' movements. The Chidu Corps was stationed outside Jinling City. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that the Chidu Corps was waiting. He wanted to find out the Green Phoenix Corps' movements and then attack the Green Phoenix Corps with the local forces. Inform Nu Lin, tell Qing Lin and the Qing Yuan army to stop fighting for now. Knight Sorrow said to the messenger beside him. Knight Sorrow did this to stop the Chi-Du Corps from moving. This way he would have a chance to deal with them. Your Highness is planning to deal with the Chi-Du Corps here? But this place is only an hour away from Jinling City. It's too close. There will be an endless stream of reinforcements. It will be very difficult to take them down. Summer City said. Without the information of Qing Qilin and Qing Yuan Corps, the Chi-Du Corps won't move. This will give me a chance to set up a formation. I will secretly set up a formation and surround the entire camp. Even if reinforcements come, it will be able to hold them off for a while. Now there are two key tasks. One is to destroy the teleportation formation in the camp as soon as the battle starts. The other is to destroy the teleportation formation in Jinling City and then kill the Chi-Du Corps. Knight Sorrow spoke his thoughts. Chapter 1205. Summer City nodded. He wasn't good at war tactics, but he felt that Knight Sorrow's method was still feasible. The most difficult part of this operation is the destruction of the teleportation formation. After I've arranged everything, Uncle Summer, go to Jinling City and destroy the teleportation formation at the agreed time. Then, hide and pay attention to see if there are any hidden teleportation formations. If there are any, continue to attack and destroy them. Also, Feishio, you have to go. I'm not strong enough, so you'll be in charge of destroying the teleportation formation, Knight Sorrow said to Feishio. Feishio nodded. He knew that this mission was very important. Then I'll start working. Uncle Summer, help me control the energy waves when the formation is activated. Knight Sorrow finished speaking and brought people to the area near the barracks. Then he set up an illusion formation. Summer City used the will of the heavens to suppress the energy waves of Knight Sorrow's formation. After getting close to the barracks, Knight Sorrow began to set up the formation around the barracks. First, he set up an illusion formation to hide his body and hide the area where the formation was set up. Then he set up the strongest formation he could set up, the Heaven-Sealing Deathlock formation. This formation was born out of the Heaven-Sealing formation and the Heaven-Sealing formation, but its level was much lower than the two formations. However, its power was already very shocking. It was very difficult to set up a formation that covered an entire barracks. Knight Sorrow used almost 3 days to complete it. He also used thousands of Saint Spirit stones. Knight Sorrow set up a large illusion formation and then set up a teleportation formation. After doing all this, Knight Sorrow returned to Jianghu Pass and began to gather people. He left the Yinping army to guard Jianghu Pass. With Jianghu Pass as a defensive structure, even if someone attacked, an army would be able to hold them off for a while. Looking at the assembled army, Knight Sorrow first knocked on the 9 layers of armor that were already protecting his body. We are soldiers, so we naturally have to respect our soldiers and respect our soldiers. That's respecting ourselves. The Red Emperor's Chi-Du shamelessly massacred thousands of soldiers from the Sky Tiger Legion. I cannot accept that. Furthermore, the Sky Tiger Pass changed hands because of me. I am responsible for the massacre of the soldiers from the Sky Tiger Pass. I, Knight Sorrow, will avenge them. Hearing Knight Sorrow's words, all the soldiers knocked on their breastplates. The Black Tiger army even knelt on one knee. I've already arranged everything. What we need now is for everyone to kill the enemy and wipe out the Chi-Du army. Now let's start the teleportation. Knight Sorrow pointed at the sky. Following which, under the arrangements of the various generals, the 9 Heavens army began to teleport. All the soldiers were very excited. They only knew one thing, which was that the commander had already arranged everything. What they needed to do was to kill the enemy. Permanently free equals take a look. Feeling that one teleportation formation was too slow, Knight Sorrow set up another one that was connected to the main teleportation formation of the Sky Tiger Pass. This allowed the 9 Heavens army to teleport faster. This way they would be able to retreat faster. When retreating, they just had to destroy the teleportation formation that was connected to the main teleportation formation. As he watched the soldiers of the 9 Heavens Legion continuously teleport away, Yishan looked at Xia Cheng. Uncle Xia, you can set off now. According to my calculations, we will begin our operation in 2 hours. While you destroy the teleportation array, we will also begin fighting. Feishio Nu Lin, I shouldn't have left His Highness' side. However, this mission can only be completed by me. His Highness' safety depends on you. Nothing can happen to him. Otherwise, even if we kill all the soldiers from the Red Emperor's kingdom, we will still lose. Summer City looked at Feishio Nu Lin and the others. All the generals nodded at Summer City. Then Summer City set off. New Lin arranged for people to set up another teleportation formation. When we leave we must be fast. This time it will be a blitzkrieg. We will leave after killing them. No matter what tactics the Red Emperor's kingdom uses, they will not be able to surround us. Night Sorrow instructed New Lin. New Lin nodded. He would carry out Night Sorrow's instructions to the best of his ability. The Nine Heavens Army did not have any Sky Adept level array masters, but there were many array masters who could set up teleportation formations. Night Sorrow calculated the time. The time for the attack was about to arrive. Qing Emperor's Kingdom Guard, form a formation and protect His Highness. Remember to stay close to him, Fei Xiu said. My Highness Captain Fei Xiu will stay by your side. Seven Ju and I will destroy the teleportation formation. Chidu should have experts around him. You must have someone by your side, Qin Leitang said. Alright then, get ready. We won the battle against the Dark Abyss. This battle will determine our victory against the Red Emperor's kingdom. It's about time. Prepare for battle. Night Sorrow let out a breath and gave the order. Everyone in the Nine Heavens Army unsheathed their weapons and waited for the order. I don't have any requests for you. Just come back alive. The celebratory wine at Sky Tiger Pass is waiting for you. When you kill the enemy, protect every brother by your side. Night Sorrow looked at the soldiers of the Nine Heavens Army who were filled with killing intent. Then he activated the Sealing Sky Kill formation. The wind and clouds changed. The energy on the ground rolled. The Sealing Sky Kill formation was activated. It enveloped the Chi-Du Army's camp and the area where the soldiers of the Nine Heavens Army were. Night Sorrow also activated the Illusion formation. The Nine Heavens Army charged at the unprepared Chi-Du Army. Qin Leitang and Seven Ju found the location of the teleportation formation. They led their men and charged over. Before the enemy could react, they destroyed the teleportation formation. Slaughter. The 6 armies of the Nine Heavens Army had a combination formation. Against the unprepared Chi-Du Army's 4 armies, it was a one-sided slaughter. Night Sorrow led the Qing Emperor's Guard and the strongest Angry Lin army to charge towards the main tent where Chi-Du was. Those who blocked the way were directly cut down. Soon the group of people reached the main tent. Chi-Du and Gan Qing led their guards and glared at Night Sorrow. How is this possible? Chi-Du could not believe what he was seeing because the 4 legions under his command were finished, and only a small portion of his men were left to resist. Nothing is impossible. Back then, when you used the 9 Firmament World Group to threaten me, I decided to kill you. At that time, it was just a personal grudge between us. I endured it, but this time you slaughtered thousands of Sky Tiger Legion soldiers. I can't endure it anymore, and the soldiers' souls can't wait either. Today you will die, said Yishan as he pointed at Chi-Du. Gan Qing, kill him at all costs. Chi-Du's eyes were bloodshot as he roared at Gan Qing. I will take the prince away. For Gan Qing, protecting Chi-Du was the #1 priority. He knew that killing Night Sorrow would be difficult. Although no one here was stronger than him, Angry Lin and Fei Xiu were all monarchs. There was also a team of Qing Emperor's Guard. Night Sorrow wouldn't be so easy to kill. This is an order. Kill. Chi-Du roared and charged towards Night Sorrow. Qing Emperor's Guard, form a formation and kill. Fei Xiu didn't move. He shouted at the Qing Emperor's Guard. The Qing Emperor's Guard, the 3 high-level kings, were far stronger than those of the same level. They also cultivated a combination formation. Fei Xiu felt that he could stop Chi-Du even if he was a monarch. The biggest threat was Gan Qing. He was an expert among the monarchs. Fei Xiu regretted it now. He shouldn't have done the mission in Summer City. Chapter 1206. It is almost all the books you want to read. It's much more stable than other websites. The updates are faster and there are no advertisements. At this time, Gan Qing also moved. He rushed towards Night Sorrow. Angry Kirin swung his halberd towards Gan Qing. At the same time, he shouted for the other generals to help. He didn't care about his own safety, but Night Sorrow couldn't be harmed. Angry Kirin was knocked back by Gan Qing's sword. At this time, Fei Xiu also attacked Gan Qing. Hearing Angry Kirin's shout, Qin Leitang and Wei Wei rushed over. 7 Ju, Ji Feng and Qi Wang were still fighting with Chi-Du's generals. At this time, Angry Kirin, Qin Leitang and Fei Xiu worked together to suppress Gan Qing. Wei Wei stood beside Night Sorrow. Don't just stand there. Kill him for me. Night Sorrow's body flashed as he charged towards Chi-Du. Time was of the essence. Night Sorrow knew that Chi-Du must have sent a message to the Red Emperor's country. Once Wei Wei and Night Sorrow joined the battle, Chi-Du couldn't handle it. The Qing Emperor's guard's joint attack was already very difficult for him. Now Wei Wei, who was as strong as him, joined the fray. He couldn't handle it. Wei Wei's attacks forced him back. Space Fisher. Because of his low cultivation, normal attacks were useless against Chi-Du. Night Sorrow used Space Fisher. The Black Space Fisher slashed towards Chi-Du as the creator of the joint attack. Night Sorrow's attack happened to hit the gap in the joint attack. Chi-Du's body flashed and dodged Yi Chang's spatial crack. However, he was slashed in the back by one of the Azure the Archguards, a high-level monarch king. The website's pages are clean and there are few advertisements. I love this kind of website. Although the slash didn't break Chi-Du's armor, Chi-Du's organs were shaken. He spat out blood. Die. At this time, Night Sorrow used Soul Extinguishing Slash. The deep purple crescent blade, supported by the will of space and time, directly cut into Chi-Du's spirit sea. Soul Extinguishing Slash was effective. Night Sorrow used Space Twisting Dragon Kill to kill Chi-Du. Night Sorrow wasn't the only one attacking. Wei Wei was also attacking. Wei Wei's attack landed on Chi-Du's back, shattering his armor. Chi-Du's body was pushed forward, and he was hit by Night Sorrow's Space Revolving Dragon Kill. His chest and abdomen were directly blown apart. At the same time, Night Sorrow's Soul Extinguishing Slash also cut through Chi-Du's spirit sea. The crescent blade circled around and returned to Night Sorrow's spirit sea. After picking up Chi-Du's spatial ring and weapon, Night Sorrow shook his head. They still had an owner, which meant that Chi-Du's clone had died. Damn it. Thousand Shadow Slash. Seeing Chi-Du killed, Ganqing was enraged. Her body flashed and many phantoms appeared as she rushed towards Night Sorrow. Your Highness, dodge. Nu Lin roared. He couldn't distinguish between the phantoms and the real one, so he couldn't stop them. Before Night Sorrow's body flashed, he first used energy to activate the 9 heavy armor. Just as Night Sorrow activated the 9 heavy armor, Ganqing's attack arrived. Her powerful blade slashed Night Sorrow's chest, sending Night Sorrow flying. Just as Ganqing's phantoms flashed again and chased after Night Sorrow, an angry roar sounded, "You're courting death." Earth Cage, 7 universal slashes. Summer City had appeared. He had destroyed the teleportation circle and rushed over because he was worried about Night Sorrow's safety. For a long time free of charge, look, Nu Lin and the others couldn't tell where Ganqing's real body was, and all the phantoms had attacking power. It was a battle skill that Ganqing used her life force to activate. Nu Lin and the others couldn't, but Summer City could. Summer City was an earth elemental, so she used an earth elemental spatial skill to suppress all of Ganqing's phantoms. She then waved her blade and slashed at the phantoms. After a few slashes, Ganqing's phantoms were killed by Summer City, leaving only her real body. You're going to die today. Summer City slashed at Ganqing again and again. After 5 slashes, Ganqing was killed. Wei Wei helped Night Sorrow up. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Night Sorrow looked at Nu Lin and the others. Kill them all. We don't have much time. They will set up a teleportation circle. In fact, when his army was under attack, Chi-Du's real body had already gone to the Red Emperor's palace to report to the Red Emperor. After confirming that 9 Heaven's army had appeared in Jianghu City within the Red Emperor's empire, the Red Emperor immediately arranged for all the elites of the Red Emperor's empire to come out, including the Sky Heart army at Heaven Tiger Pass, Chiwa's army, and the Red Emperor's palace guards. All of them were dispatched to Jianghu City. When his doppelganger was killed, Chi-Du's real body paled. Father, they can't hold on any longer. My doppelganger has been killed. Knowing that the army under Chi-Du was on the verge of collapsing, the Crimson Emperor personally ordered everyone to rush to Jianghu City as fast as possible and surround the 9 Heavens army. As long as they could defeat the 9 Heavens army, it would be worth it even if they lost an army. Night Sorrow felt a sense of crisis. After the battle ended, some people cleaned up the battlefield while others began to teleport. Night Sorrow's injuries were very serious. Ganqing was a monarch and a powerful one at that. If it wasn't for Night Sorrow's 9 layers of armor, even if Night Sorrow's body was strong, he would still be half dead. The 3 teleportation circles teleported together very quickly. When only the Nu Lin army was left, the Red Emperor's empire's reinforcements had arrived. They had already surrounded the battlefield and were beginning to break the formation. You can't even keep up with the heat. What's the point of surrounding us now? Wei Wei cursed. It was supposed to be a happy thing, but Night Sorrow's injuries made the generals very angry. the formation won't last long. The Chi-Du army doesn't have a heavenly adept formation master, but the Red Emperor's empire will definitely send a formation master. Tell everyone to teleport as fast as possible. I want to destroy the formation. Knight Sorrow didn't want his formation techniques to be studied by others. After the New Lin army teleported away, only Knight Sorrow, Summer City, and Fei Xiu were left in the formation. Knight Sorrow removed the teleportation crystal that was connected to the Sky Tiger Pass teleportation circle. Then he removed 2 more teleportation circles, leaving only one behind. He then set up the Spirit Explosion formation. After bringing Summer City and the others to the teleportation circle, Knight Sorrow waved his arm and threw a Holy Spirit Stone at the Ceiling Sky Kill Lock formation. He wanted to destroy the Ceiling Sky Kill Lock formation. His formation contained the essence of the Tao of formations. If he left the formation here, the Red Emperor's empire's heavenly adept formation masters would slowly study it. The Ceiling Sky Kill Lock formation would be thoroughly studied. Chi-Du, you're lucky that I didn't kill your true body this time. But remember this matter isn't over. The 4 armies are just the prelude to the end of our grudge. After leaving behind this sentence, Knight Sorrow activated the teleportation circle. As Knight Sorrow activated the teleportation circle, the Ceiling Sky Kill Lock formation started to collapse and shatter. The energy from the explosion sent all the people who were trying to break the formation flying. Those with a high cultivation base were fine, but those with a low cultivation base were either killed or seriously injured. Knight Sorrow's words traveled through the broken formation and reached the ears of Chi-Du, who was standing beside Akatsuki and Chiwa. This made Chi-Du's face turn even uglier. He immediately punched the air. He was still angry. Akatsuki didn't say anything. He knew that he had come too late. Chi-Du's army had been destroyed by Knight Sorrow just like that. Chapter 1207. Undersir, we came too late. Before he attacked, he had already made all the necessary preparations. He calculated the movement of our troops and the timing of the siege. That was why he was able to retreat so easily after the battle, Chiwa said. This time he had the upper hand because he had been calculating from the beginning. We were passive in the battle. Every step was within his calculations. He is a genius. Looking at the messy battlefield after the formation energy dissipated, Akatsuki felt a little helpless. After the battle of wits, it was a battle of courage. After returning to the Sky Tiger Pass, Knight Sorrow asked someone to count the casualties while he sat on the chair that Hong Yi had brought over. At that moment, Gan Qing's energy was still destroying his body. However, Knight Sorrow's body recovered quickly so his injuries wouldn't worsen. After counting, New Lin reported that the 9 Heaven Army had lost less than 400 people after killing 4 armies of the Crimson Dew Army. That was close to half of the army. Let's deal with the aftermath as usual. We can't let our brothers bleed and cry. Write the battle report and Hong Yi, stamp it with the commander's seal. I'll go heal myself first. Also, inform Qing Lin and Qing Wan armies to stay put for the time being. The Red Emperor's nation should be a mad dog right now. Knight Sorrow opened his eyes and teleported back to the 9 grand floors. After entering the secret cultivation room, he began to refine the energy in his body. New Lin wrote the battle report and sighed. Knight Sorrow's injuries had to be written in the battle report. Knight Sorrow could choose not to write it, but he couldn't not write it. New Lin was a little embarrassed. 6 armies had fought and the commanders were fine, but the commander was injured. If this spread out, it would be very embarrassing. However, this couldn't be blamed on anyone. Gan Qing was beside the Crimson Dew Army, and the commanders couldn't stop him. Luckily, Summer City had returned in time. After receiving the battle report, Qing Emperor glanced at it and threw it on the table. Knight Sorrow sacrificed half of his men to kill an entire army. He did his best as a commander, but he was almost killed. Whose responsibility is this? Qing Emperor was a little angry. After Xian Daozi read the battle report, he didn't say anything. The results of the battle were glorious, but Knight Sorrow had been seriously injured. Let's go to the 9 stories tower. After saying that, the Qing Emperor left the Qing Emperor Palace and arrived at the 9 stories tower. Your Majesty. Summer City bowed when he saw the Qing Emperor. Tell me about the situation. Where were you when Knight Sorrow was attacked? Qing Emperor asked while looking at Summer City. After Summer City bowed and apologized, he explained what had happened. I can't blame you. You had to follow his orders. He has his own mistakes. He can't tell the difference between porcelain and a crock. Qing Emperor flung his sleeves and sat down. In the situation at the time, only I could continue to monitor and destroy the teleportation portal in Jinling City after I dealt with it. So, His Highness had no choice, Summer City said. He has a lot of power, but the things he does are always more difficult than that. Summer City, don't accept such orders in the future. Have someone else do it. He can't do it without someone by his side, Qing Emperor said. Summer City nodded. This time he was also a little scared. If he hadn't returned in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. The battle at Sky Tiger Pass, and this time, the Red Emperor's nation was also destroyed. In a short period of time, our Qing Emperor's dynasty didn't have to pay a big price to cripple the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's nation. This is something only His Highness Knight Sorrow can do, Xian Daozi said. When this guy comes out, we have to give him a good scolding. He's a treasure himself. It's impossible for him to ignore his own safety. Qing Emperor felt that there were some things that needed to be said about Knight Sorrow. Your Majesty, I think that after these few battles, the army merits will be a problem. How are they going to earn merits in the future? Xian Daozi said with a smile. That's true. We'll think about it when we get back. We can't just say that they worked hard to solve the problem. Now that the dynasty has no more problems, we can't give them merits. Qing Emperor nodded. Your Majesty, that Chidu clone was killed and his army was wiped out. This is a big problem, Summer City said. Qing Emperor did not say anything. So what if it was a big problem? The Qing Emperor's dynasty was not afraid of the Red Emperor's dynasty's provocation. No matter how the Red Emperor's dynasty provoked them, they would fight back. Besides, the current situation was clear. The Red Emperor's dynasty could no longer defend against the Qing Emperor's dynasty's attack. One army could not defend the Sky Tiger Pass. With two armies defending it, the other lines of defense would have to face the attacks of the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix armies. After 2 days of recuperation, Knight Sorrow was almost fully recovered. When he opened his eyes, he felt the concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrate. He took it out and poured energy into it. What are you doing? I've looked for you a few times, but you didn't respond. You don't look well. Are you injured? Dachura, who had just scolded Knight Sorrow angrily, could see that Knight Sorrow did not look well. A few days ago, I was attacked by an overlord. It's not a big problem. I'm almost fully recovered, Knight Sorrow said as he shook his body. Can't you pay attention to your own safety? You are the #1 commander of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. If there's anything you need, just give orders. Why are you charging at the front? Dachura said with a frown. Chidu, I must kill him. This time it's a clone. Next time I'll kill his real body, Knight Sorrow said. There's no rush. I've given you the resources for a few days now, but you haven't taken them. Also, I've sent 2 special overlords. They are good at hiding their cultivation. If you need anything, you can ask them for help, Dachura said. I know. Be careful in the future, Knight Sorrow said. If something like this happens again, I'll teach you a lesson, Dachura said as he turned off the concentric crystal. Knight Sorrow put away the concentric crystal and left the secret cultivation room. Seeing the Qing Emperor, Xian Daozi, and Summer City drinking tea, Knight Sorrow was stunned for a moment. He then bowed to greet them. Your body is strong enough. Although you have 9 layers of armor, you recovered in 3 days after taking a full blow from a peak overlord. That's impressive, Qing Emperor said as he looked at Knight Sorrow. Master knows. Uncle Xia, why are you saying this? You're making Master worry. Yishang picked up the teapot and poured tea for them. If it wasn't for your Uncle Xia, how could you hide this from me? Remember, you're the prince of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. You're also the #1 commander. Your status is higher than a prince's. You're a piece of porcelain, not a broken jar. You have to be responsible for your army. From today onwards, you're only allowed to command the war. You're not allowed to fight personally, Qing Emperor ordered as he looked at Knight Sorrow. Master, I was careless this time. I won't do it again. Please don't be angry, Master. Knight Sorrow quickly took out a bottle of wine and placed it in front of Qing Emperor. You have to take my words to heart. It makes sense that a gentleman doesn't stand under a collapsing wall. I understand that you have your own ideals when leading the army, but only by living can you fulfill your ideals and ambitions. Now, many people from the Qing Emperor's dynasty have snuck in, and they all want to deal with you. The Red Emperor's dynasty has suffered a great loss and they won't let it go. In the past, the Red Emperor wanted your life for 1,000,000 merits. Now the price is too high. Can you be careless? Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow helplessly. Chapter 1208. Thank you for your advice, Master. I will remember it. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that Qing Emperor was talking about survival. Nodding at Yi Shang, the Azure Supreme, the Arch left the Nine Chao Pagoda. He felt that since he had reminded Yi Shang should be more vigilant and careful. In the next few days, Knight Sorrow fully recovered from his injuries before going to Heaven Tiger Pass to take a look. Heaven Tiger Pass was already on the right track. In addition, the Red Emperor's army outside Heaven Tiger Pass had also retreated. Akatsuki did not dare to let the Skyheart army near Heaven Tiger Pass. He was also worried that Knight Sorrow would suddenly attack his Skyheart army. If that happened, the Red Emperor's nation would really have no army to use. It would take time to form a new army. The top forces all had reserves of soldiers, but the combat power of a new army could not be compared to an old army. Currently, the Red Emperor's nation could only shrink their defensive line. They could not afford to fight. After arriving at Heaven Tiger Pass, Knight Sorrow thought for a while and called the generals to the commander's office. The continuous battles have exhausted the soldiers. Let's rest for a while. Also, the soldiers of the Nine Heavens army can't only be given holidays. In the future, 2 out of the 7 armies will be swapped out for rest. They can leave the camp freely and spend time with their families. Don't we have a piece of land at the side of the 9 grand floors? Let's build it up. It will be the family quarters of the Nine Heavens army in the future, Knight Sorrow said to the generals. Thank you, Commander. The generals bowed. They knew that this was Knight Sorrow's benevolence in caring for his soldiers. Also, take note of one thing. When soldiers go out, they will come into contact with many people. It is easy for them to be infiltrated. I don't care how you deal with this. You can use oaths to bind them or use other methods. In short, you must arrange it well. Another thing is that the army will go out. New Lin, you 7 generals will discuss this, but the letter of challenge must be reported to the 9 grand floors for Jun Xuanji's records. I will activate the barrier, Knight Sorrow said to the generals. Knight Sorrow was worried that the 9 Heavens army would be infiltrated. New Lin and the others bowed as they had to deal with this matter by themselves. There is also the issue of resources. Our 9 Heavens army should have a lot of merits, but if it's not enough, report it to the 9 grand floors. After explaining everything, Yi Shang returned to the 9-layer pagoda. As for the safety of the Heaven Tiger Pass, he didn't have to worry because the Heaven Sealing Formation and the Heaven Sealing Formation's array discs were in his hands. Staying in the 9 Chong building, Yi Shang brewed tea and studied the array diagrams. In the Red Emperor's pavilion, Chi-Du reported his plans to the Red Emperor. Father, although there is a personal grudge, if we destroy the 9 Heavens world group, then Knight Sorrow's heart will be covered in dust. His virtuous body will be destroyed. You are right. It is worth it to pay a price to destroy this person. You go and deal with this matter. The Red Emperor shouted to the person beside him. After Chi-Du returned to his residence, he gathered all his soldiers together. He felt that it was not enough, so he went to the Crown Prince's residence and asked Crown Prince Akatsuki to lend him a small team of soldiers. The Tianxing Prefecture soldiers were very famous in the Red Emperor's country. They were the Crown Prince's personal guards, second only to the Red Emperor's personal guards. Akatsuki did not refuse and lent Chi-Du a small team of soldiers. Chi-Du felt that it was enough. The leader was a sovereign. In addition, Chi-Du's protector, Gan Qing, was also a sovereign. Although Gan Qing's clone was killed, his original body could still fight. Everything was ready. Chi-Du brought his people to the 9 firmament world through the transmission array, and then to the mysterious sky world. Just as the group of people left the mysterious sky world's teleportation array, a group of people appeared out of thin air. Among them, 4 sovereigns led the group and suppressed Chi-Du's group. Originally, Gan Qing was very strong, but his clone was killed and he suffered some injuries. He was suppressed by 2 sovereigns. Similarly, Chi-Du's clone was killed and his strength was damaged. He was also suppressed by a sovereign. In addition, the leader of the Tianxing Prefecture soldiers and another man in blood-red clothes were equally matched. The subordinates of both sides were fighting. The group of people who suddenly appeared had the advantage. Who are you people? This prince is Chi-Du of the Red Emperor's country. Chi-Du shouted. I don't care who you are. I will kill you people who have bad intentions. The man who was fighting with Chi-Du said. So _new chapter FZ section Qin the distance, Chen Zhenyu just watched. He had never seen a battle like this. This was a battle between a sovereign, a high-level king and a mid-level king. A few days ago, Datura brought people here and told Chen Zhenyu that all of this was to protect the mysterious sky world. Qian Zhenyu had seen Night Sorrow and Dachira together. Naturally he would not object to such a thing. He could not object. Dachira arranged for this group of people to stay near the teleportation array. Today when Qidu and the others appeared, this group of people would kill them directly. Qian Zhenyu knew that such a group could massacre the mysterious sky world at will. Even the Nine Heavens World group would find it difficult to resist. Just as Qian Zhenyu was thinking, Dachira appeared wearing a black silk dress embroidered with a golden Dachira and a veil. There are really people who came to court death. Then I will fulfill your wish. With a whisper, Dachira's hollow battle sword appeared and slashed. One slash. With just one slash, Ganqing was cut in half. Then Dachira's body floated and he kept attacking. The hollow battle sword carried the law of heaven. Every slash carried a halo of light that enveloped the opponent, making it impossible for the opponent to dodge. After a few slashes, Qidu was the only sovereign left. Stop, you can't kill me. Seeing that he was the only sovereign left beside him, Qidu roared. Kneel down and surrender or die. Dachira's voice was full of killing intent. After hesitating for a moment, Qidu knelt on one knee and stabbed his battle sword into the ground. You still want to play tough with me? I'll make you kneel. Dachira's right foot shook, and a light wave flew out and broke Qidu's right leg, making him kneel on the ground. Lock him up. Leave no one else alive. Dachira gave the order. In a moment, none of the people brought by Qidu were left. Take this person to the dark abyss for me. In addition, send 2 groups of blood-robed guards to the Nine Heavens world to wait for me. Hurry. Dachira gave the order to the people around her. She knew that Qidu was captured, so the Red Emperor must know. Glancing at Qian Zhenyu, Dachira took the people to the Nine Heavens world's teleportation formation. If they wanted to fight, they would fight in the Nine Heavens world. In the Nine Heavens world, Dachira activated the concentric crystal. Night Sorrow, Qidu was captured by me and sent to the dark abyss. You can kill him later. Chapter 1209. _NBSP. I'm going to kill him now so that the Red Emperor won't show up. Night Sorrow closed the concentric crystal and walked towards the teleportation array. Summer City and Fei Xiu followed. When they saw Night Sorrow's cold expression, they knew something was wrong. After arriving at Seven Night City, Night Sorrow teleported twice to the Nine Heavens realm. I've sent him to the dark abyss, Dachira said. Give him to me. I want to kill him, Night Sorrow said to Dachira. I didn't kill him. I left him for you. Dachira nodded. Fei Xiu, go to the dark abyss and take him from Seven Night City to the Nine Heavens Pavilion. Then send him to Sky Tiger Pass. Kill him later to pay tribute to the dead, Night Sorrow said to Fei Xiu. Dachira nodded to a blood-robed guard beside him. The blood-robed guard took Fei Xiu and left. I didn't expect them to touch my hometown. They really don't have a bottom line. Night Sorrow knew that Dachira had a backup plan. Otherwise, the mysterious sky world would have suffered a calamity and Seven Night City would have ceased to exist. At this time, the captain of the Red Emperor's Qianxin prefecture reported to Akatsuki that the entire army had been annihilated. Only his clone had been killed. His original body was still alive. Akatsuki brought the captain to the Red Emperor's pavilion. Report to His Majesty, Akatsuki said to the captain. There's still a problem. It seems like the blood-robed guards from the Dark Abyss are the personal guards of the Dark Ruler, Dachira. When Dachira captured Night Sorrow, the two of them reached some kind of agreement. After hearing the report, the Red Emperor stood up. Father, we were completely annihilated this time. Qidu was also there. Akatsuki's eyes were filled with killing intent because his personal guards had been killed and his brother, Qidu, was also in trouble. This is his tribulation. He shouldn't have killed the soldiers of Heaven Tiger Pass. He will be punished by the heavens. Although he hasn't been killed yet, it's unrealistic for him to ask the Dark Lord, Dachira, to hand him over to us. If he doesn't, then there's nothing to talk about. The Red Emperor sighed. If Dachira gave him face, then he also had face. Dachira didn't give him any face, and he couldn't do anything in front of Dachira. Then let's go to the Nine Firmament World Group and hand over the person. We'll stop. If we don't hand over the person, we'll destroy the Nine Firmament World Group. The Dark Ruler should still be there. Akatsuki was a little anxious because he wanted to save Qidu. If we can't fight Dachira, this woman is strong and good at scheming. Would she be afraid of us fighting? I reckon that they have already made their preparations. If we were to use force, the Dark Abyss and the Azure the Arch-Empire would attack the Crimson Emperor Kingdom together. If we were to attack their subsidiary world first, we would be in the wrong. If we were to fight, we would fight to the death, the Crimson Emperor said. Akatsuki didn't say anything. He knew that the Red Emperor was telling the truth. Chidu had fallen into the hands of the Dark Ruler. It was impossible to save him, unless Dachira took the initiative to release him. Wait for the news. If Chidu's soul crystal doesn't break in 3 days, there is hope for survival. If it breaks, then ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You can't do things overboard. When you went to find Night Sorrow, maybe it was the beginning of his destiny. You can go back. The Red Emperor waved his hand. In front of Dachira, the Red Emperor also felt a little helpless. After sending Akatsuki away, the Red Emperor thought for a while and left in a flash. He took the teleportation formation and came to the 9 Firmament world. You came alone. Are you going to fight me one-on-one? Dachira asked. No, I didn't plan to fight. This is my son's fault. Do you have the conditions to let him go? Dachira said. I won't let him go. From the moment that kid had no bottom line, he was destined to die. You can fight however you want. Dachira will take you on. Dachira looked coldly at Red Emperor. At this moment, the Red Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and said, Kid, you have some tricks up your sleeve, but I'll put the blame on you. After saying those harsh words, the Red Emperor turned around and left. It would be embarrassing to continue the conversation. Red Emperor, remember this. If you die in a normal fight, it's because you're not as good as your opponent. If you're unscrupulous, don't blame me, Dachira, for not playing by the rules, Dachira replied. Update H. Sunil, Dachira, is it worth it for you to do this for him? The Red Emperor turned around and asked when they arrived at the teleportation portal. You know that I, Dachira, never lie. Dachira also stared into the Red Emperor's eyes. The Red Emperor didn't say anything and directly activated the teleportation portal. He knew that Chidu couldn't be saved. Besides, he had to consider the current situation carefully. Dachira was so serious about helping Night Sorrow. There must be something that he didn't know. As for the Dark Abyss and the Qing Emperor's dynasty working together to deal with the Red Emperor's country, the Red Emperor knew that it wouldn't happen. Dachira and the Qing Emperor weren't that kind of people. They wouldn't hesitate to fight small fights. If they really caused the eastern district of the world of reincarnation to be weakened, they would think twice. That's it? Night Sorrow looked at the teleportation portal in surprise. What else can we do? Fight to the death with me? What's the use of fighting to the death? He's the one who will suffer losses. Alright, you can go back. Dachira nodded to Night Sorrow. With Summer City around, she naturally didn't say anything. Night Sorrow took Summer City back to the Jochong building. Your Highness, what's going on? Summer City was confused. He didn't understand what was going on at all. You were there that day. I told Master that I had some agreements with the Dark Master, but I didn't betray Master or the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Night Sorrow said. I know, but you're too anxious. What's going on? Why would the Dark Master do this for you? Summer City was anxious. He really wanted to know. Night Sorrow didn't say anything because he didn't want anyone to know. Your Highness, I've been following you since you came out of the Azure Sky Pavilion, so I'm your Highness's man. Unless there's something your Highness can't handle, I'll report it to His Majesty. I won't tell His Majesty anything else. Please tell me, Summer City said. Really? You won't tell anyone? Night Sorrow looked at Summer City and asked. Really? I swear I won't tell anyone else. Summer City raised his hand and said. Alright. Uncle Summer is by my side. It's not appropriate for me to hide things from Uncle Summer. I have an agreement with Dachira. It's a personal agreement. When I reach the Monarch stage, I'll go to the Dark Abyss to marry her, Night Sorrow said. Summer City's body shook. Your Highness, what did you just say? I didn't hear it clearly. You didn't hear it wrong. When I reach the Monarch stage, I'll go to the Dark Abyss to marry her, Night Sorrow repeated. What's going on? The Dark Master is going to marry someone? Summer City's eyes widened under the mask. I'm also confused. At that time, if I didn't agree, she would kill me. Now you see, Uncle Summer, she's serious about some things. I can't tell Master about these things because she won't let me, Night Sorrow said. Your Highness, you're the most ruthless person in the world of samsara. I really admire you. If the Red Emperor knew, he would spit blood. Summer City took a big gulp of tea from the teapot. Chapter 12:10. Br. Uncle Summer, just pretend you don't know about this. I don't care what the Red Emperor wants to do. If he doesn't come, others will come to kill him. Uncle Summer, do you think the 9 Grand Floors can fight their way in? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Look at the original 6 chapter % section are on Z, that's for sure. Except for those giants, no matter how many people come, they will all die. Summer City said. Then it's settled. Now that we are safe, I don't care about anything else. No one can do anything to me. I will just cultivate. Night Sorrow said. Your Highness's attitude is very good. Many forces have taken action, but so what? The giants won't come easily. After all, it represents a declaration of war. Others can come if they want. Our 9 Grand Floors can also withstand some storms. Summer City said. Then Uncle Summer, pay more attention. Master said that there are many people. If there are people poking their heads in the 9 Grand Floors, just deal with them. Night Sorrow nodded to Summer City. Summer City nodded. He understood some things. Night Sorrow already knew. In the eastern district of the world of Samsara, with the support of the Qing Emperor and Dachura, it would be difficult for anyone to touch Night Sorrow. Then Night Sorrow and Summer City arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass. Chidu was still in the Heaven Tiger Pass. Now Night Sorrow had to solve Chidu's problem. After Night Sorrow arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass, he went to the martial arts practice field. In the middle of the martial arts practice field, there was a big meteorite iron cage. Chidu was chained outside the cage with meteorite iron chains. 7 Ju and Chi Wang were personally watching over him. Seeing Night Sorrow arrive, 7 Ju and Chi Wang both bowed. Night Sorrow, you dare to kill me? Chi Du with long hair roared at Night Sorrow. Why wouldn't I dare? Night Sorrow snorted coldly. I am a prince of the Red Emperor's kingdom. My father is a heaven pillar. If you dare to kill me, you won't be able to live either. Chi Du glared at Night Sorrow with bloodshot eyes. Nu Lin, gather the men. Today we will use his blood as a sacrifice to the soldiers who died. Night Sorrow said to Nu Lin, who had heard of his arrival. Nu Lin bowed and went to gather his men. Soon, the 7 legions of the 9 Heavens Legion gathered at the training ground. We are soldiers. The word, soldier, has no borders. We are a group of people who protect our country and expand our territory. We are a group of people who deserve respect. This group of people includes us. Soldiers could die in battle, and dying in battle was a worthy death. It was their duty, but it could not be blasphemed. He had killed thousands of soldiers, so he deserved to die. Today, I want to kill him because of my personal grudge, but most importantly, I want to clear the name of the Sky Tiger Legion, Night Sorrow said to the gathered soldiers of the 7 armies. In response to Night Sorrow's words, the soldiers knocked on their breastplates. The entire Black Tiger Legion knelt on one knee. Thank you, Commander. Uncle Summer will supervise the execution. 7 absolutes, do it yourselves. Night Sorrow turned and left. He had no interest in watching how Chidu was killed. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, Summer City laughed. Using your status as a prince to scare our highness? You're scaring the wrong person. If our highness wants to kill you, who can protect you? Your old man stepped in, but the result was still the same. I don't believe it. Chidu roared. Now he understood that Yi Shang really wanted to kill him. He didn't want to capture him to threaten the Crimson Kingdom or to obtain something. Whether you believe it or not, the result will still be the same. 7 absolutes, do it. Summer City was too lazy to talk nonsense with Chidu. Night Sorrow didn't stay in the Sky Tiger Pass. He came to express his stance and deal with Chidu. Night Sorrow returned to the 9 Chong building and drank a pot of tea. Summer City came back to report that Chidu had been dealt with. Night Sorrow nodded. Chidu had to die, no matter whose son he was, because he did something he shouldn't have done. He shouldn't have killed soldiers. The moment Chidu died, the Crimson Emperor knew about it. Although he knew that this was the result, he was still abnormally furious. As a Heaven Master, he couldn't protect his son. This was a huge blow to him, even though his son had gone overboard. Although he was angry, the Red Emperor knew that it was difficult to deal with Night Sorrow now. The Qing Emperor and Dachura were very difficult to deal with. The Qing Emperor was reasonable, but Dachura was different. If she said she was unreasonable, then she would be unreasonable. In the words of Dachura, if he followed the rules, then she would also follow the rules. If the Red Emperor acted recklessly, then Dachura would act recklessly, and the Red Emperor's kingdom wouldn't be able to bear it. After calming down his anger, the Red Emperor continued to meditate. He knew that he had to calm down. A storm was brewing in the world of reincarnation. If he didn't handle it well, he would be doomed eternally. Chidu's death couldn't be hidden. Some people in the Red Emperor's kingdom knew about it. Akatsuki was very angry. Chidu's death was an enmity, and the Red Emperor's face was slapped. It could be said that Chidu's death was a disgrace to the Red Emperor's kingdom. Akatsuki went to the Red Emperor's pavilion to pay a visit to the Red Emperor. Tianxen, let's leave this matter as it is for now. We can't rush to take revenge. The situation is a bit chaotic now. The one who captured Chidu was Dark Ruler Datura. The main thing is that Chidu attacked an affiliated world protected by others. It's not right. We can't punish him even if we want to. The Red Emperor shook his head. This matter made him very annoyed because he supported Chidu going to the 9-domain world. Now that Chidu was killed, he couldn't do anything. Father, Dark Ruler and Qing Emperor are on the same side? They want to work together to deal with our Red Emperor's kingdom? After hearing the Red Emperor's words, Akatsuki's expression changed. The eastern region of the world of reincarnation was currently balanced. If the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Red Emperor's kingdom worked together, the Red Emperor's kingdom would have a hard time surviving. Their living space would also be reduced. That won't happen. Usually the three of us are in a state of laissez-faire. A real war won't happen. The Qing Emperor and Datura won't do that. The current situation is because of Night Sorrow. After Datura captured Night Sorrow, I don't know what Night Sorrow said to persuade Datura. Now Datura is willing to protect him. Let's wait and see. Many spies have entered the Qing Emperor's dynasty. It's a mess. The Red Emperor said. Night Sorrow, Datura, Akatsuki will definitely take revenge. Akatsuki gnashed his teeth and said, you'd better work hard to cultivate and enter the level of Sky Master. Only then can you have the right to talk to them. The Red Emperor said. He had high expectations for Akatsuki because he was the most talented among his many children. Night Sorrow studied the diagram every day, waiting for his main body to break through. One day when Night Sorrow was drinking tea, the concentric crystal in her sleeve vibrated. Datura was looking for her. Seeing Night Sorrow take out the concentric crystal, Summer City left the 9 Grand Building's main hall to stand guard. Aluo, what's the matter? Night Sorrow asked. Let me ask you something. You have someone called Zhu Jiyun with you. What's your relationship with her? Datura looked at Night Sorrow. Friend, she was once the leader of the 9 regions world's nether realm. Now she's my friend. Why do you ask? Night Sorrow asked. She's very suitable for developing in the dark abyss. She can also comprehend the death attribute. Can you give her to me? Datura asked. Chapter 12:11. Sure. I'll ask her later. It's not a big deal. It's up to her. Night Sorrow said. Originally, I wanted to snatch this person over and accept her as my disciple. Now, with our relationship, there is no need for that. You're friends? It would be awkward for me to accept her as my disciple, but I can guide her in her cultivation, Mandela said. Okay. It's not a big deal. I'll ask her later. Night Sorrow said. He thought it was a good thing. Zhu Jiyun had fire and death attributes. So far, there was no place for her to comprehend death intent. Night Sorrow was going to give Zhu Jiyun some merit points to the Samsara Palace. But if Zhu Jiyun was willing to go to the Dark Abyss, there would be no need. There must be a place for her to comprehend death intent. After closing the concentric crystal, Night Sorrow asked Red Robe to call Zhu Jiyun over. Zhu Jiyun's original body was in the midst of comprehending death intent. Her avatar was in Chia City. Zhu Jiyun and Red Robe came to the hall of the 9 stories building. Night Sorrow looked at Zhu Jiyun. Now you have an opportunity. But I'm not sure if you're willing to take it. Commander, please tell me. As long as you think it's okay. Zhu Jiyun said. Here's the thing. I know someone from the Dark Abyss. The Dark Master wants you to go there. Night Sorrow didn't mention his relationship with Datura. He just told her the truth. The Dark Abyss is indeed suitable for my attributes. Commander, do you think it's appropriate for me to go? After thinking for a while, Zhu Jiyun asked Night Sorrow. She knew that she couldn't compare with Night Sorrow in terms of foresight and analysis. She might as well let Night Sorrow make the decision. Then go. This is also an opportunity for your personal development. Even if I give you some merit points to let you go to Samsara Palace to comprehend the will, it will only be temporary. If you choose the right path, you will benefit for the rest of your life. Yi Shang nodded. He knew that Mandela would give Zhu Jiyun a sufficient stage. After that, Night Sorrow asked Zhu Jiyun to wait at the small house by the lake. Someone would come and find her. Then he informed Dachira and left the matter alone. Night Sorrow cultivated the array Dao every day, because the array Dao that he had recently come into contact with was of a very high level. Whether it was the Heaven Sealing Array, the Heaven Locking Array, or the 9 You Slaughtering God Array, they were all extensive and profound. It could even be said that a single array Dao was enough for an array master to study for a lifetime. Night Sorrow cultivated himself without moving an inch, but battles broke out from time to time. It was the Qing Emperor's guards led by Fei Xiu who often captured the cultivators who approached the 9 Stories Tower to investigate. They were not natives of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but were all outsiders. Night Sorrow understood that this was the consequence of Zhan Taiyang going out to block the wind. Many powers had their eyes on him because the heavenly artifact was too powerful. Who would believe that? Night Sorrow stood up and swore a heavenly Dao oath, saying that the Clear Sky God Pagoda was not in his hands. Perhaps people would believe him, but the Spacetime Pagoda was a part of the Clear Sky God Pagoda. How could he swear such an oath? He could only accept it. Whoever came looking for trouble, Night Sorrow could only accept it. Time passed very quickly, and in the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed. Night Sorrow cultivated very steadily, but he often went to the Heaven Tiger Pass to open the checkpoints, and the legions often went out to battle. Right now, the Red Emperor's dynasty was completely suppressed. Some of the cities near the Heaven Tiger Pass were allowed to develop freely, because once officials and managers moved in, the 9 Heavens army would sweep through and plunder resources. This was not something that the Red Emperor's dynasty was willing to accept. In addition, Night Sorrow's reputation in the Qing Emperor's dynasty was becoming more and more resounding. Heavenly Master Highness Night Sorrow was known by everyone because no matter what weapon, armor, or medicinal pill it was, as long as you had the materials, you could refine it. It could even be said that cultivators from other factions came because of his reputation. There were very few high-level heavenly masters, and even if there were, the fees were very high. At the same time, more and more spies came to look for trouble. This was because the news was spreading faster and faster. There were even rumors that Yi Shan's ability to refine high-quality Sovereign King weapons and Sovereign King pills was due to the help of the Heavenly Dao artifact. These rumors made Night Sorrow feel very helpless because he had no way to defend himself. His hatred for Zhan Taiyang also became deeper and deeper because it was all because of Zhan Taiyang and Fang Feng. It was even said that some of the major figures came to negotiate with the Qing Emperor, but he did not know what they were talking about. Night Sorrow was looking forward to the awakening of his original body in the Samsara Palace. He had been comprehending for 3 years and he did not know how effective it was. In the past, it did not take him so long to comprehend the time attribute. 2 years ago, Night Sorrow also had a son and a daughter. Sikong Chuyu gave birth to a son Yi Yujun, and Aoi gave birth to a daughter, Night Sorrow. They were all named by Night Sorrow's wives. At that time, it was very sensational in the 9 regions world. Everyone who knew Night Sorrow in the 9 regions world sent him congratulatory gifts. It was because they were the real crown prince and princess of the 9 regions world. The children of the Grand Pure Domain could not be compared to them. When the 2 children were born, the energy contained in their bodies was at the 3rd stage core formation level. Because Night Sorrow's body was very strong, his children were also very talented. While Night Sorrow was thinking, Sikong Chuyu brought the 2 children to see Night Sorrow. Their original bodies had started to cultivate again, and now it was their doppelganger who was taking care of the children. The 2 children ran directly to Night Sorrow and climbed onto Night Sorrow's body. The 2-year-old children had not known each other for long, but they were very clingy to Night Sorrow. Chuyu, don't bring them here. I will go back when I have time. It is not very safe here. Night Sorrow carried the 2 children on his lap and said. Sikong Chuyu smiled and nodded. It was Yujun who insisted on looking for father. If I didn't bring him here, he would make a fuss. Let's go home. Father will take you to play. Night Sorrow carried the children on each hand and took the teleportation array back to the city in the sky. Summer City also followed behind. He was very puzzled. He had seen many cultivators, but he had never seen King take care of the children himself. At Night Sorrow's place, as long as the children came, no matter what he was doing, he would put down everything and play with the children until the children were tired and fell asleep. Beside the lake in the city in the sky, Yi Shang placed the 2 children who were tired from playing and had fallen asleep in the wooden boat. He covered them with blankets and then brewed a pot of tea. He waved at Xia Cheng. Your Highness is very patient. The 2 of them are also very energetic. They have been tormenting your Highness for the whole afternoon. Summer City sat down and said. They haven't seen me for a while, so they are a bit sticky. It is also because I did not accompany them properly. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Plus JF is the only genuine copy B. Others are all stolen. The real deal. Your Highness, your aptitudes are excellent. They will be able to cultivate soon. Summer City praised Yi Yujun's and Yi Qingyan's aptitudes. Don't worry. We can talk about it when they want to cultivate. They have good aptitudes. A few years won't make a difference. A happy childhood will be beneficial for their future growth. The cultivation of their state of mind and temperament is very important. Night Sorrow said. Spoil. Summer City muttered. I grew up with Father Gu, so I can understand the inner world of children. Now, the most important thing is to instill the correct outlook on life in the world. This will determine their future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. At this time, Fei Xiu came to Night Sorrow's side. Your Highness, I have captured another person. Is this person an important person in the Black Fiend Valley? Chapter 12:12. What important person? Night Sorrow asked with a frown. It's the personal guard of a young master of the Black Fiend Valley. The young master has also arrived at the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Fei Xiu said with a bow. Go back and have a look. Chuyu, don't bring the child to the world of samsara in the future. Send someone to call me if there's anything. Night Sorrow left the city in the sky with Summer City and Fei Xiu after instructing the Sikong Chuyu who had rushed over. Back at the 9-story tower, Night Sorrow saw the person who had been captured by the Qing Emperor's guard. Let me go quickly or my young master will not let you go, the man who had been captured roared. A personal guard is not important. Is this your real body or a doppelganger? Night Sorrow asked. It's a doppelganger. Why don't you try to kill me? The man was very arrogant. Tell your young master not to provoke me, or he'll have to bear the consequences. Besides, I don't care about anyone. Not even your young master, let alone a personal guard like you. Take him away and kill him. Night Sorrow ordered the Qing Emperor's guard directly. You'll regret it, my young master Li Ying, the personal guard kept roaring as he was dragged away. You're threatening me in the wrong place. I've even killed the prince of the Red Emperor's kingdom. What's a personal guard like you? Night Sorrow snorted coldly. Then Night Sorrow entered the main hall of the 9-story tower. It seems that the level of the enemy's people has increased. The 9-story tower's defense has been very tight in recent years. Some forces can't sit still and kill some people. We'll just defend some people, Summer City said. It doesn't matter who they offend. From the moment they came to the Qing Emperor's dynasty, they didn't show any respect to the Qing Emperor's dynasty. We're enemies. Even if the young master is captured, I'll still kill him, let alone a personal guard of the young master. Night Sorrow said without hesitation. After all, this was someone bullying him. They didn't give him any face. Yes, but this time, we have slapped the face of the Black Fiend Valley's young valley master. The Black Fiend Valley is very strong. They have 2 sky pillar level figures. The other young valley masters are not at that level, but they are also the best among the monarchs, said Summer City. Judging from the arrogance of a guard, it's as if the Black Fiend Valley is the overlord of the world of samsara, Night Sorrow said. Summer City nodded and told Night Sorrow that in the world of samsara, the Black Fiend Valley was the most powerful force in the southern region. Just like Zhan Taiyang's sky-seizing island, it was a dominating force, but it was not strong enough to ignore the 3 superpowers in the eastern region. Let's see what they can do. Fei Xiu continued to capture. If anyone comes, capture them. Interrogate them and kill them, Night Sorrow ordered. Summer City and Fei Xiu bowed. They knew that although His Highness in front of them looked peaceful and approachable, he was hot-blooded. If anyone dared to offend and blaspheme him, he would fight back to the end. In a city near the Qing Emperor's dynasty and the Qing Emperor's city, a young man was sitting in a courtyard and drinking tea. There were beautiful women waiting on him. Only one original version, the others are pirated versions. At this time a man walked in. The man's face was pale. He was the man who Night Sorrow ordered to be killed. Young master, I didn't do my job well. I was caught when I went to the 9 building where Night Sorrow was. The man reported while kneeling on one knee. You're also a Star King. Even if you were careless, you couldn't escape after being discovered? How could your clone be killed? The man who was drinking put down his cup and said, There were Qing Emperor's guards in the 9 building led by the sovereign. I was no match for them. I was trapped and captured. I told them that I was your personal guard, but they still attacked. They don't care about young master's face at all. The man who was kneeling on one knee said. At this time, the man who was drinking stood up and suddenly slapped the man's head. Are you a pig? We are plotting against them and they still give us face? You even exposed your identity. Don't you deserve to die? The kneeling man's eyes were filled with fear, but he couldn't say anything. His deity ocean had been shattered by the man's palm. The young man kicked the dead guard away. Useless. You can't do anything right. My lord, don't be angry. It's okay if they know. What can they do in the Qing Emperor's dynasty? A beautiful woman waved her hand and asked someone to drag the body away. I Liang am not afraid. So what if they know? If I was afraid of them I wouldn't have come. Knight Sorrow is just a guy who hasn't even lost his hair yet. Liang sat down and said. As a sovereign, Liang had no reason to be afraid of Knight Sorrow, even if Knight Sorrow was the crown prince of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Men, Liang shouted. Then someone appeared in front of him. It was Li Ying's personal guard. Because sovereigns couldn't sneak into the Qing Emperor's city, Li Ying brought his men and hoarded them in this small city. Now, think of a way to sneak into the Qing Emperor's city. I want Knight Sorrow. No matter what method you use, think of a way to capture him. Another small group of people go to the Nine Sky World Group. He came from the Nine Sky World Group. His weakness should be there. Capture the people around him and we can make him submit. Li Ying gave another order. The fact that Chi-Du brought people to the Nine-Domain world and was completely wiped out was a secret. The Red Emperor's dynasty naturally wouldn't tell anyone because it would be embarrassing. Knight Sorrow and Datura naturally wouldn't tell anyone either. Every day Yishang would study the books on array formations. He had even set up array formations all over the 9-story tower. The people of the 9-story tower naturally knew where the array formations were, but outsiders would be in trouble if they trespassed. With the improvement of Knight Sorrow's array skills, he set up an illusion array on the outside and a heaven-locking killing array on the inside. Even a high-level king would be trapped. There were often spies who noticed that some areas were unguarded and would sneak in. However, the unguarded areas were all big pits. If they trespassed into the array they would be captured alive. Knight Sorrow didn't ask about it. Summer City and the others would finish interrogating him and give him a stab. In front of Knight Sorrow's table was a stack of information. They were all statements from spies. Knight Sorrow saw that except for the 3 forces in the eastern district of the world of Samsara, all the other forces had information. In other words, all the forces were interested in the fact that Knight Sorrow had the heavenly artifact. They all wanted to know the truth. On this day Knight Sorrow was making tea. The concentric crystal in his sleeve vibrated. Hey, I'm out. Datura's figure was in the concentric crystal. You're with Lord Feather and Qinyan? Knight Sorrow saw that it was his children beside Datura. Yes. If you work hard they will have to call me Aunt in the future. Naturally, I have to cultivate my feelings. Datura's face was full of smiles. Alright. After you came out there's a big competition. I have to congratulate you. Knight Sorrow said. Wait a minute. You're in the mysterious sky world again. I'll go there first. Datura hung up. Chapter 12-13. Uncle Summer, let's go. Knight Sorrow walked out of the main hall and headed towards the teleportation array. Summer City followed behind. He knew that something was wrong because Knight Sorrow's face was filled with killing intent. He knew that Knight Sorrow hated people who had designs on his family. When Knight Sorrow arrived at 7 Night City, Datura had also just teleported over from the city in the sky. Since you're here, let's go together. Let's see which side you're on. Datura nodded at Knight Sorrow. Then, the 3 of them teleported to the mysterious heaven world. At this moment, outside the teleportation array in the mysterious heaven world, 2 groups of people were fighting. However, the group wearing blood-red robes had the absolute upper hand and was suppressing their attacks. Looking at their attack patterns, they're from the Black Fiend Valley. Datura's watery eyes behind her veil were filled with coldness and killing intent. There was a saying that one should not implicate one's family. It was fine to have designs on Knight Sorrow, but entering the mysterious heaven world meant that they had evil intentions. They wanted to target the people around Knight Sorrow. How could she not be angry? During this period of time, Datura had interacted with Knight Sorrow's parents and wife. They got along very well. She would not allow anyone to disturb the peace of 7 Night City and the city in the sky. Without Datura and Summer City's help, the battle was over. Li Ying's men were very strong. They were led by 2 sovereigns. However, Dachura's blood-robed guards were 4 sovereigns. The 2 sides were not on the same level. Of the 20 people, besides the one who was killed, 3 were captured. Tell me, whose subordinates are you from the Black Fiend Valley? Are they Li Tianba's direct subordinates or Li Tianhu's subordinates? Mandela stepped forward and kicked a person who was squatting down. He looked like a leader. I'm not a subordinate of the 2 Valley Masters. I'm following young Valley Master Li Ying, the guard captain said. Li Ying? I don't know which bastard this is, but you're dead. If any of you have a clone, tell him that there are some things he can't do. If I catch him, I'll kill him. Dachura took out his hollowed-out blade and waved it a few times, directly chopping up the captured people. Li Ying, I'll remember this name. The one I captured last time was also one of his personal guards. He sure was happy to dance, Night Sorrow mumbled to himself. I was a little impulsive. If we interrogate them, we can find out where their master is, Dachura said. Night Sorrow shook his head. They're all personal guards. They'll talk about unimportant matters, but they won't talk about important matters. Be careful. Right now, many people are unscrupulous. Don't worry about this place. No matter how many people come, they won't be able to break in. Even if they are strong enough, if these people can't hold on, other blood guards will rush over. That is, unless they are stronger than the Dark Abyss, Dachura said to Night Sorrow. B, that's it then. But they might hate you. Night Sorrow was a little worried that he would cause trouble for Dachura. Nothing. Looking for me? Then let's give it a try. Right now, I'm itching to find someone to test my strength on, Dachura said as he waved his hollow knife. After chatting with Dachura for a while, Night Sorrow left. After returning to the Nine Chong building, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea and pondered. If the 2 sky giants of the Black Fiend Valley really invade our Qing Emperor's dynasty, then it'll be a big problem. No. Everyone in the world of Samsara knows that the 3 powers of the Eastern District usually have disputes. But when it comes to important matters, we all work together because it's for the collective benefit of the Eastern District. In addition, His Majesty is also at the top of the Sky Giants level. The Dark Master, Dachura, is also very famous. The Red Emperor is also not weak. No one will make trouble for us. You saw it today. The Dark Master, he's also very capricious. Who dares to provoke such a person? Summer City sighed. Dachura was very murderous and his hollow knife was deadly. But when he talked to Night Sorrow, his attitude changed obviously. Well, that's good. Let's continue to watch them struggle. Night Sorrow stretched his neck. No one could break into Chia City and the 9 regions world. His home was safe and so was the Nine Chong building. The Qing Emperor's dynasty restricted sovereigns from entering. Even if other sovereigns entered the Qing Emperor's city through other means without being detected, it was extremely difficult to do anything. There was more than one sovereign in the Nine Chong building. Summer City and Feishio were both sovereigns, and there were also the Qing Emperor's guards who could compete with sovereigns. In addition, there was an army stationed in the Nine Chong building. After Nu Lin, Qin Leiting, Wei Wei, and 7 absolutes learned that Night Sorrow was in danger, they had decided to set up a permanent army in 9-story tower. Originally, 9-story tower also had a military camp and a training field. Night Sorrow did not reject the good intentions of his brothers. He allowed Nu Lin and the others to make the arrangements. Qing Lin, Qing Wan, and the other princes often came to visit Night Sorrow. Now all the children of the Qing Emperor recognized Night Sorrow. The one who came to Night Sorrow's place the most frequently was Qing Yuan. He was very grateful that Night Sorrow had protected him back then. He understood that Night Sorrow was also someone who could be brothers with him. When Night Sorrow had nothing to do, he would also go to the Azure Sky Pavilion to drink some tea with the Qing Emperor. Although Night Sorrow's original body had not awakened from the understanding of the sky and the earth, he was not in a hurry. He was almost certain that he had already started to understand the will of nothingness. He was now in a deep state of understanding. Perhaps when he woke up, he would be a 2-star king. It should be known that Night Sorrow's main element and soul were both nothingness elements. He was the most compatible with the nothingness element. In other words, compared to the time and space elements, it was easier for him to understand the will of nothingness. The time and space elements entered the king's realm first because he had not yet understood the will of nothingness. At this moment, in that courtyard, Li Ying was stamping with rage because one of his personal guards had been annihilated. Many cultivators had clones. If they had clones, they would often fight with clones. This time, a few of Li Ying's subordinates had fought with clones. They had survived. D*Eminent, why is there such a strong team guarding? Liang could not understand. Besides, this time they had suffered heavy losses. Looking at their clothes and attacking methods, they should be from the Dark Abyss. In the beginning, 4 monarchs led the team to attack us. The other 2 who appeared later were very strong. One was a monarch, but his aura was very strong. He should be a peak monarch. The other was a woman who killed people. I can't see how strong she is, the guard captain said. There should be something we don't know. Don't go to the 9 Sky World group. It seems that the guards there are very strong. There is no possibility of breaking in. Focus on Qing Emperor's city. Isn't that Knight Sorrow very confident now? If he doesn't go back to his nest, we will have a chance. He is not qualified to use the heavenly artifact yet, Liang said with narrowed eyes. There is something else that I don't know if I should say, the guard captain said. Say it. Liang glared at the guard captain. The woman whose strength I can't see clearly said the names of the Valley Master and the Deputy Valley Master. She was very disdainful, the guard captain said with a bow. Chapter 12-14. How dare you? But to be able to say something like that, you must be at least on the same level as father and uncle. If I'm not wrong, that should be the Dark Dominator Liang. The guard captain did not say anything. He did not say what Dechira had said about Liang. He felt that if he said that, Liang would be so angry that he would vomit blood. He might even kill him. With a wave of his hand, Liang dismissed the guard captain. Being surrounded by 4 sovereigns, it was inevitable that the entire army would be wiped out. Liang could not blame anyone, nor could he blame anyone for not doing his job well. However, he had a backup plan. Most of his guards had infiltrated the Qing Emperor's city. Liang felt that if he could gain something here, his losses would be negligible. After Knight Sorrow returned to 9-story tower, he did the same every day. He studied arrays and array Dao. Other than that, he took orders to forge weapons and make pills. He took orders to forge weapons and make pills to earn king-grade materials. To Knight Sorrow, the more the better. When he was free, Knight Sorrow would return to the 9 Domains world to spend time with his child. Knight Sorrow's life was stable. However, 9-story tower was capturing more and more people. They even killed 2 sovereigns. These people mainly came from 2 forces. One was Zhan Taiyang's sky-seizing island, and the other was Li Ying's men from Blackfiend Valley. Without Knight Sorrow's request, Summer City ordered them all to be killed. The Qing Emperor knew about this. When he heard that some sovereigns had sneaked into the Qing Emperor's city, the Qing Emperor ordered the Qing Emperor's guards to increase their patrols. He also sent out secret guards to assassinate Blackfiend Valley and Sky-Seizing Island. It was impolite not to reciprocate. The Qing Emperor also wanted to let the Blackfiend Valley and Sky-Seizing Island know that the Qing Emperor's dynasty was not a place where they could do whatever they wanted. Knight Sorrow did not know about this. The Qing Emperor would not tell him about this. Liang was furious at the constant loss of his men. If this continued, not only would he not be able to afford it, but it would also not be effective. After giving it some thought, Liang ordered his men to stop the operation for a while he gathered more men. He planned to use a heavy punch to break through the 9-story tower's defenses. Fighting on a small scale would only result in the loss of manpower, and there would not be any results. On this day, Knight Sorrow, who was studying array formations, suddenly stood up. A mysterious aura appeared on his body. Then his aura began to rise until it reached the peak of 3-star King. Peak 3-star King. Several years ago, Knight Sorrow's cultivation base had risen to the peak of the 3-star King realm. His cultivation base was at the will of nothingness boundary. But because his energy couldn't keep up, he had to awaken from his state of enlightenment. Excitement. Knight Sorrow was filled with excitement. This was because it had come at the right time. With the peak of the 3-star King realm's nothingness attribute, combined with the time and space attributes, his great emperor reincarnation / could be unleashed. Summer City was also a bit stunned. Knight Sorrow's aura suppressed him greatly. This was not something that could be done with high-level attributes. Uncle Summer, I need to go out, Knight Sorrow said. Okay. Summer City nodded. He knew that Knight Sorrow had something to do. Knight Sorrow's doppelganger left the 9-story tower and went to the 9-domain world. He wanted to get the time and space treasure pagoda to increase his cultivation base. That way his battle power could keep up. His main body had brought some resources to increase his cultivation base. But if he wanted to increase his nothingness chi to the peak of the 3-star King realm, he would need the time and space treasure pagoda. While Night Sorrow's doppelganger was on the move, Night Sorrow's main body said goodbye to the reincarnation palace and then left to undergo the tribulation. The lightning tribulation was naturally the most difficult 9-stage lightning tribulation. However, Night Sorrow had 3 types of energy in him. He had sufficient time and space energy, so he wasn't as weak as most people who had just advanced. Thus, passing the tribulation wasn't difficult for him. After the tribulation, Night Sorrow's body gained 2 more types of black energy and 1 type of energy filled with vitality. This was what Night Sorrow had obtained when he advanced his time attribute. Night Sorrow woke up the person cultivating in the time and space treasure pagoda and teleported to the reincarnation city. Then he handed the time and space treasure pagoda to his main body and left some resources behind. Then he and Summer City returned to the 9-story tower. Night Sorrow's main body communicated with the reincarnation palace and then entered the time and space treasure pagoda to increase his cultivation base. After returning to the 9-story tower, Night Sorrow told Hichio and Jun Xuanji that he would not accept any orders for the time being. Although they were a little surprised, Hichio and Jun Xuanji did not ask. They would only carry out Night Sorrow's orders. Night Sorrow told Summer City and Fei Shio that no one was allowed to approach the back of the hall. Then he went to the training field behind the hall to cultivate. It was his personal training field. When the will of nothingness reached the pinnacle of the 3-star king, Night Sorrow wanted to increase the power of the great Emperor Samsara/. It was a killer move to kill enemies and defend oneself. It was a true unique skill. In the boundless universe, one's cultivation base was a part of one's battle strength. Another part was battle skills and mystic skills. There were also secret skills that surpassed mystic skills. Secret skills were also called unique skills. Only the most powerful people could create unique skills. Even if someone cultivated a unique skill, they might have obtained the handwritten notes or ancient books from their predecessors. Summer City knew that Night Sorrow's strength had increased again. Now it was time for him to adapt. After everyone's cultivation base increased, there would be a time for them to adapt to their battle skills and cultivation base. If one's cultivation base was high but his battle strength was low, it would be a sign of incompetence. Controlling the energy of nothingness and the will of nothingness as the main body, Night Sorrow began to fuse the time and space attribute energy. Then he performed the mystic skill of the great Emperor Samsara/ according to the Qing Emperor's teachings and began to cultivate. Every time Night Sorrow attacked, he would pierce through space or create spatial cracks. The spatial black holes were either shattered or melted. Lai Kong's body had a deep purple light wave. The light wave could cover an area, and that area would be filled with a special aura. Night Sorrow knew that it was an area that could affect the opponent's soul and will. Just like when Datura performed the death annihilation slash, the light wave would envelop the opponent, killing them before they could move or dodge. Night Sorrow's purple halo also had the same effect. This was the power of a unique skill. The will and rules could affect everything in an area. After feeling the power of the great Emperor Samsara/, Night Sorrow was very excited to cultivate. He didn't come out even once for a few days because he wanted to perfect and maximize the power of the great Emperor Samsara/. During one of their communications, Datura noticed that Night Sorrow's condition was different. She asked about it. She was strong, but she couldn't use the concentric crystal to determine her opponent's cultivation base. There was only one original version. The rest were pirated versions. Night Sorrow didn't hide anything from Datura. He told her about his current situation. "You're very good. You reached the peak of the 3-star king rank so quickly. It's a pity that you were interrupted because your energy cultivation base wasn't high enough. However, you crossed 3 levels in one go. This is a first. Very good. I'll be waiting for you." Datura's beautiful face was full of smiles. Chapter 12:15. Datura didn't wear a veil when she was in the city in the sky or when she was facing Night Sorrow. She knew that this was a sign of respect. She felt that since she was engaged to Night Sorrow, she had to take it seriously and put her heart into it. She couldn't afford to be estranged from him. "I haven't reached the intermediate king level yet. It's still too early for that." Night Sorrow shook his head. "You're not in a hurry and aren't looking forward to it, right?" Datura looked unhappy. "You've misunderstood. I'm working very hard right now because I want to give the people around me peace. I also don't want to disappoint you," Night Sorrow said. "Yeah, I'm just teasing you. I know you're working very hard. Don't tire yourself out. Datura's unhappy expression turned into a smile after hearing Night Sorrow's words. I know. If you need anything, just use the communication crystal. Night Sorrow nodded. After disconnecting the communication crystal, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. He wanted to perfect the Emperor reincarnation / as soon as possible. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Summer City arrived. Your Highness Shueshi is here. Tomorrow is Qingyan's birthday. The family hopes that you can go back. I almost forgot. I have to go back. Night Sorrow took a sip of water from a teacup on the stone table beside the training ground. Haha, you're a good father. No matter when, if your son and daughter need anything, you'll be there immediately, Summer City said with a smile. I'm a father. I won't say anything if I don't spend time with them properly. However, I want the children to know that as long as they need it, their father will definitely be by their side, Night Sorrow said as he put down the teacup. Summer City nodded. He understood. This was Night Sorrow's philosophy. Nothing was more important than his family. No matter what happened at home, he would place importance on it. After that, Night Sorrow asked Jun Xuanji to go to the Qing Emperor city to buy some delicacies that couldn't be found in the 9 regions world. Then he personally made 2 small toys before he prepared to go home. When Night Sorrow arrived at the city in the sky, he saw Sikong Chuyu waiting with the 2 children. Why are you waiting here? Night Sorrow went up and carried the 2 children. Yujun said that he missed his father. I told him that you would be back soon, so he dragged me here to wait for you. Fortunately, you came back in time and didn't disappoint the child. Sikong Chuyu had a smile on her face, and her tender face was full of motherly radiance. The next time the child is in a hurry, arrange for someone to call me, Yishan said. Sikong Chuyu nodded. She knew that Yishang valued his family more than anything else. Night Sorrow played with the children for a long time. When the children were tired, Night Sorrow sat down and drank some tea. These 2 little guys are really troublesome. Haha, they're just like you when you were young, full of energy, Papa Gu said with a smile. Dad, I was like this when I was young too? Thank you for your hard work. He poured a glass of wine for Papa Gu. You don't have to be so polite with your foster father, Papa Gu shook his head. Some time ago, Papa Gu told Night Sorrow that Night Sorrow had found his parents. It wasn't appropriate for him to call him Dad now, so he asked Night Sorrow to call him foster father. However, Night Sorrow still insisted on calling him that. Yujun and Qingyan love fishing with Papa Gu now, Yuqing said with a smile. Yuqing said with a smile. In Sky City, Father Gu was a title. No matter how high one's seniority was, they would all call him that. Haha, back then you urged me to take care of the children. Now I can't complain that I'm tired, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Not to mention 2, even 10 wouldn't be a problem. 1 sheep, 2 sheep and a flock of sheep are all free, Papa Gu said with a smile. Papa Gu's words made everyone laugh. However, they all knew that it wasn't easy for Night Sorrow to have children. Yujun and Qingyan's birth was a blessing from the heavens. Summer City felt that this was human kindness. In the world of reincarnation there were very few families like this. At least he didn't know of any. Being too utilitarian led to a lack of human kindness. Uncle Xia, drink up. Night Sorrow filled Summer City's glass with wine. Your Highness, when you can do whatever you want in the world, I'll come here to enjoy my retirement, Summer City said. Okay, there's nothing else in the future. Uncle Xia, you can come here and rest. There's plenty of good wine and tea, Night Sorrow said. Seeing that it was still early, Night Sorrow let Papa Gu and Summer City drink tea while he took the transmission array to walk around. The 9 regions world was peaceful now. Of course there were still some disputes. Some small forces and families were fighting for territory. Such things existed everywhere. It was natural selection and survival of the fittest. After walking around the 9 regions world, Night Sorrow talked with his senior brothers for a while and invited them to the city in the sky tomorrow to drink. After that, Night Sorrow went to Chen Chen's tea house outside the sacred hall of Dongshen City. What's going on? Why are you here? Chen Chen was a little surprised to see Night Sorrow. He knew about Night Sorrow's situation. He knew that Night Sorrow had a lot of things to do outside. Why can't I come? Isn't it good to see my adopted brother and sister-in-law? Night Sorrow said with a smile. Of course it's good. I'm just a little surprised. Chin Chin took out a jar of wine. I'm here to drink tea. Let's drink tomorrow. Tomorrow is my son's birthday, Night Sorrow said with a smile. We've already prepared the gifts. We'll remember this. Even if you didn't invite us, we would still go tomorrow. Chin Chin smiled and began to make tea. You're so considerate. Several years have passed in the blink of an eye. The 9 regions world has changed so much. If it changes again, I won't be able to find my way here, Night Sorrow said with some emotion. Yes, the Taiching domain is the core of the 9 regions world, followed by our Dongshan domain. You haven't been to Zhuyuan village, have you? It's already the 2nd city in the Dongshan domain. It's developing very well now, Qinshin said. I haven't. I plan to go after drinking tea with you. I want to pay my respects to the 2 Yi family martyrs, Night Sorrow said. I go there often. I've experienced a lot of ups and downs in Zhuyuan City in my life, Qinshin said. Your life? It's still too early. Night Sorrow smiled. At this time, Qinshin's cultivation was at the venerable realm. Because of the resources given by Yi Qianhua and his constant cultivation, he had naturally comprehended the realm of being one with the world. Ah, it's still early. Let's go. We'll go to Zhuyuan City. It's a place that left a deep impression on us. With the change in his state of mind, Qinshin didn't care about those unbearable memories of his past. He knew that it was also a form of growth. When they arrived at Zhuyuan City, Night Sorrow felt that the changes were too great. It was like heaven and earth had been turned upside down. Zhuyuan City was very prosperous, but Zhuyuan Village was still the same. There were no changes because it was a sacred place where Sector Lord Night Sorrow had lived in when he was young. V-Head, Hair, I also have a tea house here. I also plan to open a tea house in the place where you live now. This way when you're tired and feel uneasy we can drink tea together, Qinshin said. Second update. Chapter 12:16. That's a good idea, but the taste of the people there is relatively higher. The tea has to be good, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Of course there's something I haven't told you. I still have my own tea garden. I've cultivated the heart-cleansing tea. It's no different from natural tea, Qinshin said. I have to say you're doing well now. The owner of the tea house and tea garden is doing very well. Night Sorrow looked at Qinshin. He really did not expect Qinshin to have changed so much. I'm the owner of a tea house myself. Naturally, I have to develop good tea. Otherwise, what would the owner do? I also have to accumulate some assets for my 2 sons. I'm not a good cultivator, but I'll be a very good and honest businessman. Qinshin stated his position. Maybe you're right, but no matter what you do, I'll support you. Night Sorrow nodded to Qinshin. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Yi Shang offered incense to the members of the Yi clan who had sacrificed their lives to protect him. Only then did he walk around with Qinshin. Before leaving, Night Sorrow patted the wooden horse that Father Gu had made for him. This was the most profound thing in his memory. Some people and some things once experienced would never be forgotten. Night Sorrow also went to see the old people of Bamboo Garden Village, but some were no longer there. This was how the world changed. This was how time was like a knife. Uncle Nyo was very old, but he was still in good spirits. He was very happy to see Night Sorrow. When drinking, Night Sorrow inadvertently put the life serum in Uncle Nyo's wine glass. Uncle Nyo and the others were ordinary people. This was all he could do. After that, Night Sorrow and Qinshin went their separate ways in Dongshan City. Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky and Qinshin went home. After returning home, Night Sorrow went to rest. Although there were some things that he could not do, he could chat with his wife. After celebrating his child's birthday, Yi Shang returned to the 9-layer pagoda and once again began cultivating. He could sense that his true energy cultivation base had increased. Because the space-time pagoda had increased his true energy cultivation base by 20 times, and because Yi Shang had enough resources to increase his true energy cultivation base, his true energy cultivation base had increased very quickly. Even if his true energy cultivation did not improve, his realm was at the king level. The will and rules of the world were also at the king level, so his combat strength had improved a lot. Mandela often communicated with Yi Shang. She mainly talked about Zhu Jiyun's situation. Although Zhu Jiyun had comprehended the will of fire, she had not entered the king level. Dachura wanted Zhu Jiyun to go directly to the dark abyss to comprehend the will of death. After all, there was a big gap between the two. It could be said that her future achievements would be different. The combination of death energy, rules, and will could allow her to fight those above her level. However, the will of fire could not do this. Zhu Jiyun accepted Dachura's arrangement. She knew that this was an opportunity. Dachura was doing this for Night Sorrow's sake. There was no need for him to trick her. She also knew what kind of person Dachura was, his identity in the dark abyss. and his status in the world of reincarnation. He was truly a giant who stood at the peak of the cultivation world. Knight Sorrow was not worried about Zhu Jiyun's situation. Zhu Jiyun was a person who understood the big picture. As long as Datura treated her seriously, Zhu Jiyun would work hard. If there are any good seedlings who are suitable to develop in the dark abyss, send them over. I will help you nurture them. They will definitely have a bright future. Datura looked at Knight Sorrow and said, "There are indeed some, but their level is a little low. I hope you don't mind." Knight Sorrow said with a smile, "Dark attribute? I can get someone to guide them. There is still a chance for them to advance to the death attribute." Datura said, "They have the death attribute. The other one should have it too. He told me that his attribute is evolving." Knight Sorrow said, "Guan Yi had the death attribute. Qin Jin also had the dark attribute." Knight Sorrow did not ask after that. "Okay. Arrange for them to wait at the 7 Night Cities teleportation formation. I will pick them up later." Datura said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow asked Redcoat to deal with it. He continued to cultivate the Great Emperor reincarnation / Although he had succeeded, there was still room for improvement. While Knight Sorrow was cultivating quietly, Li Ying appeared in a secluded courtyard in the Qing Emperor city. He had gathered some people around him. "Young Valley Master, because of their strong blockade, some of our people were killed even though we flew in from the city walls. We only have 2/3 of our people left." Li Ying's personal guard, Li Kai, reported the situation. "This number is enough. We are not going to destroy the 9 grand floors. We are going to capture them. Capturing Knight Sorrow alone is not enough. We have to capture everyone around him. Only then will he submit. Also, we need to retreat. We don't have much time. If we don't end this quickly, the people from the Qing Emperor dynasty will come to our rescue." Li Ying said, "I have already made the arrangements. We have set up a teleportation formation in the backyard of a restaurant not far from the 9 grand floors." Li Kai said, "Okay. Let's not waste any time. We will take action tonight." Li Ying made the decision. He knew very well that it was dangerous. However, if they succeeded, the benefits would be endless. After cultivating, Knight Sorrow went to the Sky Tiger Pass to check if there was anything wrong. Only then did he return to the 9 grand floors. Just as Knight Sorrow was making tea, the sound of battle came from the 9 grand floors. Knight Sorrow led Summer City, Redcoat, and Lan Ying out of the main hall. At this time, many men in black appeared in the 9 grand floors. There were close to 100 of them, and all of them had high cultivation bases. Are they going to fight? Summer City's face was full of killing intent. However, he did not move. He knew that these people were here for Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow's safety was the most important thing. The enemy had the advantage in numbers. They were able to suppress the Qing Emperor's guards. However, it would be difficult for them to kill the Qing Emperor's guards because the Qing Emperor's guards had a joint attack formation. Restraining the Qing Emperor's guards was enough for Li Ying. At this time, Li Ying led his men and rushed toward Knight Sorrow and Summer City. His target was Knight Sorrow. If he could capture Knight Sorrow, he would have the chance to get the heavenly divine artifact, the Haotian Godly Pagoda. Then, even if he was not a Sky Master, he would have the qualifications to talk to a Sky Master. "You're courting death. Kill." Summer City brandished his sword and fought. He could not let others threaten Knight Sorrow's safety. Knight Sorrow held the Sky Splitter in his hand. Although his cultivation base was low and was not on the same level as his opponent, he wanted to test the power of the Great Emperor's reincarnation / if Knight Sorrow wanted to fight. Get into formation. Surround and kill. Send someone to inform the soldiers of Tian who passed to come. The Ding Xiang army stationed in the 9 grand floors had also arrived. The leader was the hot-tempered Wei Wei. At this time, there were a few people standing in the dark outside the 9 grand floors. They were wearing dark red clothes. "Leader, what should we do?" one of them asked. "We can't interfere in this situation. The Qing Emperor's guards will be here soon. They don't care who we are and will attack us directly. Let's go back. Didn't those brats set up a teleportation formation in our tavern? Let's go back and watch the teleportation formation. We'll kill them one by one," the man in front of the team said. Chapter 12:17. See. On the original chapter. Xia Qing blocked Li Ying and suppressed Li Ying's attacks. Li Ying was very strong. Although he was not a match for Summer City, he was very fast. Summer City's blades missed him. At this time, Li Ying's subordinates surrounded Knight Sorrow. Fortunately, Wei Wei was there and could hold them off. However, more and more people were coming. Night Sorrow's Lai Kong also made his move. Because he was not as strong as these people, he could not fight them head-on. Night Sorrow pushed his time and space attributes to the extreme. He also used the Great Earth Cycle / Danger. This was not a danger for 9-story tower. It was Night Sorrow's danger. The enemy did not have the ability to destroy 9-story tower, but they had the ability to hurt Night Sorrow. At this time, the people from Sky Tiger Pass had not arrived. The main reason was that Li Ying's men were fighting with all their might. They wanted to capture Night Sorrow and even kill him. Li Ying felt that the Haotian Godly Pagoda was very likely to be with Night Sorrow. He was also not sure if Night Sorrow was the original body or a clone. Just as the Angry Lin army and the Thunder army teleported over, Li Ying shouted, "Do it!" Hearing Li Ying's order, the Black Fiend Valley guards surrounding Night Sorrow waved their arms. A large black net appeared and flew towards Night Sorrow. Great Emperor Cycle / It was too late to dodge. Night Sorrow used his ultimate skill. As Night Sorrow stabbed out, purple light burst out and a large hole appeared in the black net. Night Sorrow's body flashed and rushed out. However, the black net covered a large area. Night Sorrow rushed out, but Hong Yi and Lan Ying, who were not far from Night Sorrow, were captured by the net. At this time, the Angry Lin army and Qin Leiteng also rushed over. Retreat. Night Sorrow, if you want these two people, give me the Haotian Godly Pagoda. Li Ying roared and retreated with his men. But at this time, the Angry Lin army soldiers formed a formation and surrounded them. Night Sorrow chased after the high-level king who was holding the Red Spectre and Blue Shadow, but he was stopped by the others. Seeing the Red Spectre and Blue Shadow being taken away, Night Sorrow was infuriated. If you can't capture them, just kill them. Li Ying ran. Speed was his forte. Even though he had taken a hit from Summer City, his armor had been broken, and he had spat out a mouthful of blood, his speed did not slow down. As he ran, Summer City chased after him. Most of Li Ying's subordinates had run away. They were all elites under Li Ying's command, and their combat power was also very strong. Without Night Sorrow's orders, Nu Lin arranged for 2 armies to be stationed at Heaven Tiger Pass while the others went out to capture the culprit. The Qing Emperor's guards came a little later, but they also joined the operation. At this time, in the Tavern of the Dark Abyss, there were people lying in ambush, but they did not make a move. Even if someone came, they did not make a move. They were all waiting. Their captain, Jiepe, had discovered that someone from 9-story tower was being held hostage. They could not let anything happen to the hostage. When the black-clothed man holding the Red Spectre and Blue Shadow arrived and stepped onto the teleportation array, Jiepe made a move and directly killed him. Jiepe's snake-like thin sword appeared from the side of the teleportation array and directly pierced the man carrying the black net between his eyebrows, killing him in one move. This was the strength of the captain of the Bloodstrike Guard. Jiepe threw the black net into the hands of the people behind him. Then he and the others attacked the people of Black Fiend Valley. Massacre. The Bloodstrike Guards of the Dark Abyss were originally good at assassination. When they suddenly attacked, the people of Black Fiend Valley could not withstand it. They had just rushed out of 9-story tower and scattered, so there was no organization. Soon, the first dozen people were killed by Jiepe's men. You two don't struggle and shout. We are following orders. We are working for Night Sorrow. We will send you back later. Let go of the 2 of them, Jiepe said. Red Spectre and Blue Shadow, who were struggling in the black net, were stunned. They did not understand what was going on. It is not safe here. We are going to the next location. Red Spectre, I am Jiepe. I know you. Actually, you are one of Night Sorrow's people who came to us, but you have never been here, Jiepe said. You know me? Red Spectre was confused. I don't have time to explain it to you now. Men, take the 2 of them to the next location. When things calm down, send them back, Jiepe said. He still had things to do. He had to wait for the people of Black Fiend Valley to come. If they came, he would kill them. At 9-story tower, Summer City returned. Your Highness, that guy was Li Ying. He was too fast. I could not catch up and kill him. Uncle Xia, don't think too much. They were unprepared. It is inevitable that we will be at a disadvantage. Night Sorrow shook his head. He was very angry. Red Spectre and Blue Shadow were captured. He had to save them. This put him in a passive position. At this time, Night Sorrow was not the only one who was angry. In the temporary courtyard, Li Ying learned from his men that they had captured Red Spectre and Blue Shadow subordinates. They were not teleported away as they wished. They were intercepted and killed in the dark. The people who went to the teleportation array were all killed. Oh, who is it? Li Ying waved his hand and broke the tea table in front of him. Because he was so close to success, suddenly there was a problem. After capturing Red Spectre and Blue Shadow, Li Ying felt that there was a great chance to exchange for the Haotian Godly Pagoda in Night Sorrow's hands. According to the information he had investigated, Night Sorrow would not give up on the people around him. Otherwise he would not have achieved the body of merit. So with Night Sorrow's people in hand, it was easy to succeed. Now that they were intercepted, it was equivalent to a failure. Li Ying knew that in the current situation he had no chance. Now, leaving the Qing Emperor's city was the best choice. Li Ying set up the teleportation array and waited for his subordinates to return. In the Qing Emperor's city, it was not easy to set up a teleportation array. Many places were interfered with by arrays. Li Ying searched for a long time to find the blind spots to set up the teleportation array in the tavern in this courtyard. Now that such a big problem had occurred, the Qing Emperor's city would definitely be cleaned up. He had to leave. While Night Sorrow was waiting for the news, he really got the news. Red Spectre and Blue Shadow had returned. Seeing the two return, Night Sorrow stood up excitedly. Are you okay? Another group of people saved us. They said they were working for you, but it seems that they are not from the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Red Spectre said. I understand. It's good that you are safe. We will remember this. Li Ying of the Black Fiend Valley, I will not let him go. Night Sorrow's face was filled with murderous intent. This was not the first time Li Ying had provoked him. The first time Li Ying sent his personal guards, it was equivalent to a conversation. Then Li Ying did not stop. He wanted to attack his family in the nine-domain world. Now he wanted to capture the people around him. This had crossed Night Sorrow's bottom line. Also this storage ring. Someone asked me to bring it to you. He said you should have gone to get it a long time ago. You didn't, so he could only ask me to bring it to you. Red Spectre took out a storage ring. Night Sorrow nodded and took the storage ring. He knew that the people who saved Red Spectre and Blue Shadow were Dachira's subordinates. This time they really helped him a lot. Chapter 12-18. You two go and rest. Uncle Summer, tell Nu Lin and the others to kill all those who can catch up to them and then retreat. Don't cause a commotion in the city, Night Sorrow said. Okay, I'll pass on the message right away. Summer City nodded. He knew Night Sorrow very well. If Red Coat and Lan Ying didn't come back, Night Sorrow would turn the Qing Emperor city upside down. Now that they were fine, he wouldn't continue to do things arrogantly. Back in the main hall, Night Sorrow vibrated the concentric crystal and communicated with Dachira. Today is really strange. You actually took the initiative to look for me. Don't tell me you miss me. I don't believe it. Dachira's face was full of smiles. It's not like you to have so little confidence. However, I'm here to thank you. I ran into some trouble today and your subordinates helped me solve it. They also gave me a storage ring, Night Sorrow said. So that's how it is. It's nothing. They've been gone for a few years just to help you today. I've told you twice about the resources, but you didn't take them, so I didn't bother to tell you. Now they're finally in your hands, Mandela said. I, Night Sorrow, am an indomitable man. It's not appropriate for you to take care of me, Night Sorrow said as he shook his head. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow didn't take the resources for a few years. Do you need to be so clear with me? Besides, didn't I use your soul cultivation liquid? You should know that rejection is sometimes hurtful. It's the attitude of treating me as an outsider. Dachira's smile disappeared. I'll take it. Don't be unhappy. It's all my fault. Night Sorrow looked at Dachira's disappointed expression and suddenly felt bitter because he inadvertently made Dachira unhappy. You really know you're wrong? Dachira asked. I really know I'm wrong. Maybe it's not wrong to persist, but it's wrong to make you unhappy. Night Sorrow nodded. Good, now I understand. A smile appeared on Dachira's face. She was very happy. She knew about Night Sorrow's persistence. Now, because of her emotions, Night Sorrow was willing to change himself. This was very important to her. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow and Dachira ended the call. After the battle, there were many things that needed to be dealt with. People from the Nine Chong Pagoda were killed in the battle as well. More than a dozen soldiers were killed in the battle. Li Ying's men were all highly skilled in battle, so the soldiers were not able to hold on for long. After dealing with the aftermath, Knight Sorrow returned to the hall and opened his storage ring. This is my gift to you. Keep it well. Knight Sorrow probed with his soul power and saw Datura's image. However, the image soon disappeared. Knight Sorrow knew that this was Datura's soul imprint. If someone else opened it, Datura would know, and the consequences would be severe. Chapter 5. Latest Chapter 5. After probing, Knight Sorrow was shocked. He knew what it meant to be rich. There was a small mountain of Saint Spirit stones, at least a few 100,000. There were also some materials for refining weapons and alchemy. Knight Sorrow smiled. This was Datura. This was the aura and temperament of the Dark Dominator. Knight Sorrow decided to accept it. If he did, Datura would be angry again. While Knight Sorrow was checking the resources, the Qing Emperor's city was in action. The Qing Emperor's guards and the city guards were all mobilized to clean up the Qing Emperor's city. Unknown people were arrested, and those who resisted were killed. The Qing Emperor knew about the 9 grand floors, and this made him very angry. Attacking his disciples in the Qing Emperor's dynasty was like slapping him in the face. Li Ying returned to the Blackfiend Valley with a pale face. Almost all of his men were killed, and the teleportation array in the tavern could not be used. With the Qing Emperor's guards and the city guards chasing after him, his men could not escape even if they wanted to. Li Ying understood that this was the consequence of angering the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor's dynasty was run by the Qing Emperor for countless years. The Qing Emperor's city was right under his nose. This time he had angered the Qing Emperor. Naturally, his men could not retreat. Li Ying's heart was stifled. He knew that he was one step behind. If his men had brought Hong Yi and Lan Ning back, the situation would not be like this. He lost half of his men and gained nothing. Li Ying could not accept this. He knew that he had miscalculated something. He only thought about the 9 grand floors and did not think about other people. Knight Sorrow finished checking the resources given to him by the Datura. The Qing Emperor and Xian Daozi arrived. Greetings, Master. Knight Sorrow bowed to the Qing Emperor. Are you okay? The Qing Emperor looked at Knight Sorrow. No problem. Also, please forgive me, Master. I did not use the army recklessly. At that time, the enemy kidnapped someone close to me. I did everything I could to save her. Knight Sorrow said. In the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the army could not be used recklessly without the order of the military. Knight Sorrow was the first commander. He had the authority to mobilize all the army, but he also needed to report to the military. You can use others. It's fine if you want to. They slapped us in the face, so naturally we have to slap them back. You don't have to worry about the rest. I have something to tell you, but now is a good time to tell you. All the cultivators in the boundless universe are in human form, but 70% of them are not. Some of the more powerful races have formed their own worlds. Recently, a special world will appear. If you have nothing to do, you can go and have some fun. If you don't want to go, just stay in the 9 grand floors. Other than the team of Qing Emperor's guards assigned to you, the other Qing Emperor's guards will also pay attention to this place, the Qing Emperor said. What world? Knight Sorrow asked. The Ice Dragon world, a branch of the dragons. The most important thing is that there are ice dragon bones in that world. If you use the bones of an ice dragon to set up a formation, the power will be shocking. For example, in Chia City, if you use the bones of an ice dragon that has recognized its master as the core to set up a formation, the city will be indestructible, the Qing Emperor said. Then I have to go there, Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. In addition, you need to cultivate your body. The blood essence of the dragons is the best material to improve your body's strength and cultivation. The Qing Emperor nodded. He was clear about Knight Sorrow's situation. When will the Ice Dragon world appear? Knight Sorrow asked. In a month, but there are some things you need to know. Many people will go there, and there will be people from all the major forces, so you must be careful. If you are not careful, you will die, the Qing Emperor said. I understand. Wealth comes from danger. If something happens, it's just a matter of one of my avatars. Knight Sorrow was very open-minded. In the Great Thousand World, many cultivators made the same choice. Their original body would cultivate, and then their avatars would go out to explore and look for resources. This way they could quickly improve their strength. However, every cultivator's soul power was limited. If one's avatars were to be lost, they would have to face everything with caution. Because if something went wrong, they would be completely destroyed. There was a chance for reincarnation, but that was another beginning. Most of the time, the opponent would not give them a chance to reincarnate. Chapter 12-19. First P. Also, Summer City can't go with you this time because the Ice Dragon realm has restrictions. It's not the restrictions of the origin of the realm, but it's suspected that there's a sleeping ice dragon. The aura of a monarch will wake it up, so no monarchs will go, Qing Emperor reminded Knight Sorrow again. Your Highness, when you return, bring that damaged item of yours with you. After a few years of recuperation, this old man can perform divinations again, Xian Daozi said. Right now, my true self is using it to speed up my cultivation. When I get back, I'll go find Uncle Xian Daozi. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was very grateful in his heart. Divination was related to the karma of the heavenly Tao, and it was harmful to the user. No one would be willing to use divination unless there was a great enlightenment or a major event. I'll find a suitable team for you. You can lead the team, Qing Emperor said. Knight Sorrow shook his head. Master, there's no need for that. I can run fast on my own and I'm a small target. If there's anything, I'll just hide. The Qing Emperor pondered for a while. Originally, he had planned to send someone to protect Knight Sorrow. Now that Knight Sorrow was going alone, he doubted whether it was right for him to tell Knight Sorrow about this. After thinking for a while, the Qing Emperor felt that he should trust in Knight Sorrow's ability, so he didn't object. After the Qing Emperor left, Knight Sorrow knew that he had to fight again. How many fights could one have in life? Knight Sorrow wouldn't give up such an opportunity because he didn't have many materials to increase his body's energy, and he didn't have much life essence left. In addition, at Knight Sorrow's current level, it was not suitable for him to cultivate with the life spirit fluid. Firstly, he would not be able to keep up with the pace. Secondly, the life spirit fluid would be more effective in replenishing his vitality. In other words, it was a waste to cultivate with the life spirit fluid. After informing He Chio and Summer City, Knight Sorrow returned to Chia City. After arriving at the lakeside house, Knight Sorrow took out the concentric crystal and showed it to Datura Datura. Lakeside Cottage? Why did you go back to Lakeside Cottage? Seeing the scenery behind Knight Sorrow, Datura Datura asked out of amazement. Why can't I come back? This is also my home. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. That's true. Wait for me, I'll be there soon, Datura Datura said. Knight Sorrow nodded and cut off the communication crystal. He wanted to ask about the Ice Dragon realm. The Qing Emperor knew a lot, but as the Dark Ruler, Datura Datura should also know a little. There was no harm in making sufficient preparations. Soon, Datura Datura rushed over from the teleportation formation. Is there something wrong? Yes, I want to ask you something. Knight Sorrow nodded. No need to be so polite. What do you want to ask? Datura Datura sat down and took off her veil. The Ice Dragon realm. I want to know more about the Ice Dragon realm, Knight Sorrow said. It seems that you know about the Ice Dragon realm. I knew about it a long time ago, but I didn't want to tell you because it's too risky. Monarchs can't enter, but there are all kinds of ice dragons in the Ice Dragon realm. They might be sleeping, but what if they wake up? Once they wake up, your clone's life will be gone with a crack, Datura Datura said to Knight Sorrow. But this is also my chance. Currently, my original body is cultivating in the Samsara Palace. I've improved all my clones that can be improved. Going out to explore is also a form of experience. Even if I die, I have my original body and can continue to reproduce clones, Knight Sorrow said. Since you want to go, I'll get you some information. You must know more so that you can avoid some risks. Wait here, Datura Datura said. I'll go home first. I haven't seen my children in a long time. After you come, go to the house in the city in the sky and have dinner together, Knight Sorrow said. Okay. Datura Datura nodded. She put on her veil and left the lakeside house. Knight Sorrow returned to the city in the sky. Knight Sorrow came back and the whole family was very happy. Knight Sorrow took his children and Papa Gu to the lake to fish. When the sun set, Datura Datura came. Just as Datura Datura was about to speak, Knight Sorrow shook his head gently. He didn't want his family to worry about some things. He would go on his own. Datura Datura didn't say anything. She could understand what Knight Sorrow meant. After dinner, when they went out for a walk, Datura Datura gave some information to Knight Sorrow and a map. It's very dangerous, but if you want to go, I won't stop you. However, you have to be careful, Datura Datura said. I will. When I'm not around, you have to pay more attention to the family, Knight Sorrow said. Don't worry about that. There's no problem. Your master has taught Blackfiend Valley and Heaven Seizing Island a lesson. They won't act rashly, Datura Datura said. Lesson? I don't quite understand. Knight Sorrow looked at Datura suspiciously. It seems that the Qing Emperor didn't tell you that someone was targeting you some time ago. The Black Fiend Valley even made a big fuss. The Qing Emperor sent his secret guards to the Black Fiend Valley and Heaven Seizing Island to carry out some attacks. Many core members of the Black Fiend Valley and Heaven Seizing Island were assassinated. The Qing Emperor also left a message. If anyone dares to act presumptuously in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, he won't tolerate it. The Black Fiend Valley and Heaven Seizing Island didn't respond because they knew very well what was going on. They were the ones who provoked the Qing Emperor's dynasty first, Datura said. Knight Sorrow nodded. He really didn't expect that the Qing Emperor would do that. In addition, when the Ice Dragon realm appeared, not only the people of the world of Samsara went back, but also the people of the Jianghu Great World and the Black-Yellow Great World. You are a nominal member of some forces. They will definitely attack you when they see you. Sometimes people are scarier than demonic beasts. You don't know who your enemy is, Datura said. I understand. I won't get close to others and stay far away from them. If anyone has bad intentions, I will kill them directly, Knight Sorrow said. It's fine as long as you know it. The key areas are marked on the map. You have to be careful. There's still a month before people from the Dark Abyss go there. I'll make some arrangements then, Datura said. Knight Sorrow understood that Datura was worried that he couldn't go there alone, so he had to make some arrangements. However, he didn't want to do that. Aluo, I still want to go there alone. It's more convenient this way. I feel a little awkward bringing someone with me. I also rejected the arrangement made by my master, Knight Sorrow said. You have such a bad temper. I really want to kick you. But since you think so, I won't force you, Datura said helplessly. Don't kick me. I'm also a man. I was embarrassed last time. Knight Sorrow was helpless at this time. I remember there's a saying that a man's virtue is to be afraid of his wife. Although we still need time, this saying makes sense, Datura said. The two sat on the wooden boat by the lake and chatted casually. Datura talked about the Ice Dragon realm and told Knight Sorrow what he needed to pay attention to. The most terrifying thing in the Ice Dragon realm was to meet an ice dragon that wasn't in hibernation. The Ice Dragon was a superior dragon. Its body was full of treasures, but its strength was also very strong. The bones of the Ice Dragon were not that easy to get. Chapter 12:20. The bones of the Ice Dragon King are not easy to obtain. Ice Dragon were called kings because they were extremely powerful when they were alive. After they died, they would enter a special area to hide their bodies. Normally speaking, Ice Dragon were at the level of a Heaven Master. It was extremely difficult for them to die. However, there was a tribulation in the Ice Dragon world. Every period there would be a tribulation. The tribulation of wind and fire was a test for the Ice Dragon. The tribulation of wind and fire was that it would take away the life force of living creatures. Ice Dragon was strong, but Ice Dragon was even stronger. They would not easily transform. Even if they did, it would be an illusion. Their bodies were huge and they had extremely strong life force. However, once a large part of their life force was taken away, even if they could survive the tribulation of wind and fire, the remaining life force would not be able to support their survival. So that's how it is. I've always been puzzled. Monarchs have unlimited lifespans, so why would they have the remains of the Ice Dragon King? Now I understand. Knight Sorrow nodded. Rank 9. At the level of a Heaven Master, to enter rank 9, you have to go through the tribulation of wind and fire. There were people who took this step before, but they died in the tribulation of wind and fire. You should know how terrifying the tribulation of wind and fire is. You can say that it is a demonic tribulation. Datura said. Then you have to be careful. Knight Sorrow looked at Datura and said, That's right. I know how to care for others. In fact, if I can take this step, I am willing to try the tribulation of wind and fire. However, it is too difficult to take this step because no one knows how a Heaven Master can take this step and enter rank 9. Perhaps someone has done it before, but who can say what the opportunity is? There are many Heaven Masters in the Supreme World, but no one has really taken that step. Even if there is, we don't know. Datura said. There are some things that no one can say for sure. You will only understand when it happens to you. Knight Sorrow said. That's right. Cultivation is endless. As long as you want, your strength will increase. Although your cultivation and realm cannot increase, you can still study absolute arts. Datura nodded. Knight Sorrow understood that absolute arts were the products of heaven masters when their cultivation and realm could not increase. That was still far away from him. Next, he had to go on a risky exploration. Knight Sorrow did not return to the 9 Grand Building. He stayed in the city in the sky to accompany his parents. Datura did not leave. She and Knight Sorrow, Xia Cheng and Jun Xuanji often came over and told Yishang some news. However, they kept it a secret from Yishang's family. This was Yishang's idea. Now that the matter in the Ice Dragon realm had caused an uproar, almost all the forces would participate. The Qing Emperor dynasty had a team, but Knight Sorrow did not plan to go with anyone. He was used to being alone. The Dark Abyss also sent a team. Datura and Knight Sorrow had talked about this. However, Knight Sorrow did not want to go with anyone. If he went with a team, he would have to bear the responsibility. There were also some disadvantages. No one was familiar with him. Although he would be the core of the team because of the relationship between the Qing Emperor and Datura, he would not be able to cooperate perfectly if he was not familiar with them. This was not because Knight Sorrow was selfish. There was an objective reason. Jun Xuanji also collected some information for Yishang. The more detailed the information, the more helpful it would be for Yishang. Another thing was poisons. Yishang asked Jun Xuanji to help him collect some poisons. When going out on an expedition, some things had to be prepared. Knowing Knight Sorrow's needs, Datura took over this matter. It was much easier for Datura. Knight Sorrow did not even need to refine the poisons. Datura directly refined the poisons and handed them to Knight Sorrow. One was the 7 absolute poison that Knight Sorrow was most used to using. The other was the more vicious soul-extinguishing poison. Poisons in the form of smoke were the easiest to use and the hardest to defend against. After handing the 2 poisons and the antidote to Knight Sorrow, Datura was relieved. The 2 poisons were very powerful. The soul-extinguishing poison was extremely powerful. Even a monarch would fall if hit by it. Of course, if one used energy to protect their body, the poison might corrode one's energy, but it would not be fatal. I have to be careful too. I carry poisons but others can, Knight Sorrow said. Amichim, but strange poisons are not that easy to obtain. The materials for the soul-extinguishing poison can only be found in the Dark Abyss. The 7 absolute grass is also extremely rare. It is not that easy to obtain. However, you also need to prepare a top-grade antidote. Antidotes that can deal with most poisons are not easy to obtain. I will help you think of a way, Datura said. Xuanji, help me collect materials for a type of flowing light grass. I am currently lacking flowing light grass to refine the colored glass pill, Knight Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji. Look at the original chapter, Section 1 Colored Glass Golden Pill? A colored glass golden pill that is immune to all evil? That requires too many materials. Isn't that too high grade? Datura looked at Knight Sorrow with a surprised expression. This is the benefit of taking orders for alchemy and refining equipment. I have accumulated a lot of materials, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Life essence. The most important thing is the life essence. I used to have some, but I don't have any now. It will not be easy to find them in the Dark Abyss, Datura said. Didn't I say that I only lack flowing light grass? I have the life essence. Knight Sorrow nodded at Datura. Then Jun Xuanji went back to make arrangements. Now the influence of the 9-story tower was very big. It was very convenient to do some things in the Qing Emperor's dynasty, mainly because the officials were willing to cooperate. The ice dragon bone is actually not just a bone. It represents a treasure. As a giant, the ice dragon has a very rich collection. At present, we haven't obtained any ice dragon bone or treasure in the world of Samsara, but someone in the Black-Yellow Great World has obtained more than one. The Black-Yellow City's Great City Protecting Formation is based on the Ice Dragon Bone, and the other Ice Dragon Bone has been refined into a weapon, the Ice Dragon Whip, Datura said to Knight Sorrow. Let's talk about it later. It's still too early to think about it. Knight Sorrow knew that things would not be so easy. I believe you. If you eat the meat, maybe I can drink the soup, Datura said as he patted Knight Sorrow's shoulder. What are you talking about? When did I eat the meat and let the people around me drink the soup? Knight Sorrow said to Datura with a smile. Then the two of them chatted casually for a while. Mandela's advice to Yishang was that there was no need to get into unnecessary fights with others. If they couldn't handle it, they should just leave. Getting the treasure was the most important thing. In fact, Knight Sorrow understood that Dachura was worried because even if the monarchs couldn't enter, there were still the advanced king. Knight Sorrow was currently at the peak of the junior king. There were several levels between them, so there was a big gap in strength. Even if he could fight with a higher level, it was not enough. In addition, Dachura told Knight Sorrow that the Ice Dragon world had appeared for a long time, about 30 years. In other words, Knight Sorrow had 30 years to explore, which was incomparable to the time other small worlds appeared because the Ice Dragon world was a high-level world. The higher the level and the bigger the world, the slower the speed of movement. Chapter 12:21. Br 20 days later, Jun Xuanji did not disappoint Knight Sorrow and received the flowing light grass. The glazed golden pill was a top king-level pill. Knight Sorrow still had some difficulty refining it, but there was a possibility of failure. Looking at Knight Sorrow, who was deep in thought, Dachura smiled. Usually it's your turn to refine pills and accumulate more experience. But now you can't afford to fail. This is related to your safety. Let me do it. Knight Sorrow smiled and nodded. He really couldn't fail now because there were 2 portions of the flowing light grass. There was no extra for him to squander. Dachura's alchemy level was much higher than Knight Sorrow's because she had the support of her cultivation. Without any problems, Dachura refined 2 cauldrons of glazed golden pills. Knight Sorrow also left 2 for Dachura. After Knight Sorrow stayed in the city in the sky for a month, the Ice Dragon realm appeared at the edge of a high-level world. This world was located between the world of reincarnation, the Shenhuang world, and the Shenwu Great World. This time, Qing Emperor brought Knight Sorrow there. He also formed a team of Qing Emperor's guards. Dachura and Red Emperor followed behind them. Red Emperor looked at Dachura, his eyes full of anger. His son was killed by Knight Sorrow because of Dachura. Zhan Taiyang also appeared with people behind him. In addition, there were also teams from the Black Fiend Valley. Everyone in the Ice Dragon realm wanted to try their luck. Zhan Taiyang looked at Dachura with killing intent in his eyes. Because Dachura interfered in the middle, his plan failed. Staring at me? If you still want to kill me, then you can go and die. Dachura, who was originally looking at Red Emperor, noticed the murderous look in Zhan Taiyang's eyes. He was instantly enraged. His hollowed-out katana appeared and slashed at Zhan Taiyang. Zhan Taiyang drew his sword and fought with Dachura. Then the 2 of them moved and began to fight. None of the sky pillars were afraid of anyone. When there was a conflict, they might just fight to vent their anger. It was impossible for anyone to kill anyone. It was unrealistic. However, as the battle unfolded, the spectating Heaven Masters realized that something was amiss. Dachura was very strong at this moment. He was crushing Zhan Taiyang head-on, and this was under the situation where Zhan Taiyang had yet to use his ultimate move. A piece of trash like you dares to stare at me? Today I'll let you know that there are some people you can't provoke. Death Destruction / Dachura scolded Zhan Taiyang. Then a black light wave appeared on the black hollowed-out katana and swept towards Zhan Taiyang. Then another slash appeared. This slash carried the profound principles of the heavenly Tao. This was the ultimate move, Death Destruction / Dachura, how dare you? Heaven Seizing Shield. Zhan Taiyang's expression changed drastically. He immediately raised a golden shield. Your gaze is about to kill me. Why wouldn't I dare? Dachura roared. His blade slashed on the golden heaven-seizing shield. With an explosive sound, golden and black light sputtered, and the shield was cut into 2 pieces. Slash again. Mandela caught up with Zhan Taiyang in a flash and followed up with another death obliteration slash. A black halo enveloped Zhan Taiyang. Dachura's hollowed-out katana slashed again. Dachura, stop. This isn't appropriate. Black Fiend Valley's Valley Master Li Tianba stood out. There was another old man as well. They were all overlords of the world of reincarnation. Naturally, they didn't want Dachura to kill Zhan Taiyang. If Zhan Taiyang was killed by Dachura, then the North District of the world of reincarnation would be annexed by the East District. This would affect the balance of the world of reincarnation. But at this moment, the Red Emperor and the Qing Emperor moved and blocked the path of the others. In the world of reincarnation, internal conflicts were common. But when there were other battles, they were united against external enemies. No matter how big the grudges were, this was why the Red Emperor could stand out now. Heaven Seizing Escape Technique. At this moment, Zhan Taiyang roared. His body started to blur and sway. Slash. Dachura spat out another word. The black hollowed-out katana landed on Zhang Taiyang's blurry shadow. Dachura, I, Zhang Taiyang, am irreconcilable with you. Zhang Taiyang roared. His figure dissipated. However, an arm floated down from the sky. It was the left arm with a storage ring. At this moment, this arm also flew out. Zhang Taiyang's soul imprint was on it. At this moment, it was also trying to escape. Irreconcilable? How many times can you use the heaven-seizing escape technique? The next time I see you, I will take your dog life. Dachura stretched out his left hand and restrained Zhang Taiyang's arm. He then kept it and landed in front of the Dark Abyss's team. No one spoke. No one made a sound. It was too shocking. All the overlords knew that the balance was broken. In the past, the overlords were not afraid of anyone. But now who would dare to provoke Dachura? In the past he was willful. Now that his strength had increased, he had the capital to be willful. Scram from the heaven-seizing island. Dachura roared at the heaven-seizing island's team. She cupped her hands towards the Qing Emperor and the Red Emperor. She naturally knew that it was the Qing Emperor and the Red Emperor who stood out and blocked the others, giving her a chance to severely injure Zhang Taiyang. Q forever, free equals are novel. The Qing Emperor cupped his hands in return. The Red Emperor hesitated for a moment and also cupped his hands towards Dachura. Although he was angry, he also knew that Dachura had one face for the eastern district of the world of reincarnation. In the future, the other 3 districts would not dare to talk nonsense with the eastern district. Everyone, please don't blame him. Zhang Taiyang is too despicable. You all know what kind of person he is. Originally, it's not a big deal to have some small conflicts with him. However, he looked at me with killing intent today. Since he wants to kill me, I naturally can't let him do as he pleases. Mandela cupped her hands towards Li Qianba and the other Sky Masters. She had the capital to be strong, but she could not make enemies everywhere. Because it was meaningless. Anyway, since the matter was settled, she would give some face to others and they would not be hostile. Li Qianba and the others also cupped their hands in return. Which one of the overlords was not a sly old fox? Now that Dachura had given everyone a way out, who would not accept it and make Dachura unhappy? Dachura currently had the strength to kill people of the same level. The matter was over, but Zhang Taiyang had suffered a great loss. Then, everyone waited for the arrival of the Ice Dragon world. Currently there was still some time. The Ice Dragon world was not close to this world yet. Only when it was close could they enter. There were many teams. Everyone was competing with strength and opportunities. Knight Sorrow was wearing a mask and following behind the Qing Emperor's guards. He was the target of many people's attention, so he was more careful. The Azure Emperor had made arrangements, and the Azure Emperor's guards were all wearing masks. That was to say, those who weren't particularly observant wouldn't be able to discover Knight Sorrow. At the very least, the leaders of the other factions wouldn't be able to discover Knight Sorrow and issue orders. What would happen inside was another matter altogether. Time passed slowly. Knight Sorrow was very calm. The main reason was that he had experienced many things. In addition, he was very happy because the soul cultivation liquid was very helpful to Dachura. In the world of reincarnation, no one would openly make things difficult for her. Chapter 12:22. So much good to look at. In the past 2 days, the spatial barrier of this high-level world had been violently shaken. This was caused by the collision between the 2 worlds. Knight Sorrow knew that it was time to leave. Qing Emperor waved his hand, and the Qing Emperor's guards set off. When they passed by Qing Emperor, Knight Sorrow nodded slightly, then looked at Dachura. At this moment, Dachura was looking at Knight Sorrow. Although she was in the crowd, she knew Knight Sorrow's aura. If she could not recognize her fiancé because of a mask, then she did not deserve to be the Dark Dominator. Dachura nodded at Knight Sorrow. She was a little worried, but she knew that this was the path that Knight Sorrow had chosen. If there was anything else, the two could continue. Dachura had exchanged for the concentric crystal, which could allow long-distance communication. This kind of concentric crystal was very rare. It was a king-level material and ordinary people could not get it. The concentric crystal had a distance limit. It could be ordinary in a world, but it could be advanced if it could cross worlds. Ice Dragon World was a high-level world, and there were special rules that would infinitely weaken the power of these auxiliary treasures. Therefore, Dachura had obtained a top-grade concentric crystal. To be able to obtain such a top-grade concentric crystal, it was also Dachira's ability. The temporary captain of the Qing Emperor's guards tore open space and brought everyone into the spatial turbulence. Because the normal leader of the Qing Emperor's guards was a sovereign, the sovereign could not enter, so the temporary captain was a high-level king. Knight Sorrow followed the Qing Emperor's guards and flew in the spatial turbulence. The spatial turbulence was very stressful, but everyone was a high-level king, so their protective energy was not a problem. Knight Sorrow had the power of desolates to protect his body, so naturally he could withstand it. So much good to look at. After 15 minutes, the captain of the Qing Emperor's guards tore open a spatial barrier. This is the Ice Dragon realm. The current crisis is the struggle between us and the other forces, so we should leave this area as soon as possible. Guard Captain Qing Emperor did not let everyone stay. After entering the Ice Dragon realm, they quickly flew because after some teams entered, there might be some fights. After flying for thousands of miles, the group finally landed. Everyone, let's part ways here. When we return, let's meet again at the 9 grand floors. Knight Sorrow cupped his hands towards the group. Your Highness, you can actually come with us. We're here to serve Dynasty and Your Highness, the captain of the Qing Emperor's guard said to Knight Sorrow. Thank you for your kind intentions. My cultivation base is low. If there's a battle, all of you will have to protect me. That will increase the pressure and cause unnecessary losses. I, Knight Sorrow, am not the kind of person who would step on the shoulders of his brothers. Everyone be careful. If you can't do it, just go back. Master won't blame you. Knight Sorrow said. Take care, Your Highness. All of the Qing Emperor's guards cupped their hands towards Knight Sorrow. After returning the greeting, Knight Sorrow left in a flash, not wanting to go with the others. Knight Sorrow was not afraid that others would steal his opportunity, but it was really not suitable. First, it was because his cultivation base was low. Second, it was because some of his techniques could not be exposed in front of others. #MVX. After separating, they found a hidden place. Knight Sorrow inserted a soul crystal into the ground and then set up a formation. He set up an illusion formation and a teleportation formation in the center of the formation. Then he set up a teleportation formation and embedded a teleportation crystal and another teleportation crystal. This was his secret and escape route. With the teleportation formation, it would not be a problem for him to return at any time. Even if the teleportation formation was destroyed, he would still be able to determine the location by hiding the soul crystal. After setting up his secret plan, Knight Sorrow took out a map. He did not know if others had a map, but if he had one in his hand, it would be an opportunity. However, if he wanted to understand the map, he first needed to know the location. Currently, Knight Sorrow did not know where he was. Therefore, he had to continue flying and look for a conspicuous terrain with markings on the map. This way, he would be able to use the map accurately. After flying for half a day, Knight Sorrow felt a little cold. The Ice Dragon world was the breeding ground of the Ice Dragon race. The water was of the ice attribute, and it was an extremely cold place. Knight Sorrow shook his body and increased the circulation of his blood and chi. His body was of the 2-star king realm. Naturally, he could withstand this cold air. While flying, Knight Sorrow carefully probed. Firstly, he did not want to meet other teams. Secondly, he did not want to be discovered by the demonic beasts in the Ice Dragon world. The Ice Dragon world was a high-level world. It was not inferior to the Sky Profound world, Sky Dome world, or any other world. The Ice Dragons were the rulers of this world. However, it was normal for other demonic beasts to run amok in other remote areas. At this moment, he felt his sleeves vibrating. Knight Sorrow took out the concentric crystal. Fortunately, I was afraid that it would malfunction. How is the situation now? Dachira appeared in the concentric crystal. Nothing much. I split up with the Azure the Archguard and avoided the other teams. Right now, I'm trying to find my way forward. I'm trying to figure out where we are, Knight Sorrow said after taking off his mask. Have you made the arrangements? Have you made the location of the entrance? Dachira was a little worried. I hid the soul crystal and also set up a teleportation formation. When I want to return, I will set up a teleportation formation and connect it with the other. Then I will be able to teleport back. Knight Sorrow said. One is not enough. What if it is destroyed? Let's change the location and set up another one. Dachira reminded Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow nodded. He knew that Dachira's idea was right. It was relatively safer. Originally, Knight Sorrow did not have many teleportation stones. However, Datura did not lack resources. Among the resources given to Night Sorrow, there were some teleportation stones. After breaking the concentric crystal, Night Sorrow set up another teleportation formation before continuing forward. The Ice Dragon world was very big. If he wanted to explore the entire world, not to mention 30 years, even 300 years would not be enough. Take the Sky Profound world for example. There were some places that required several teleportation formations. The area was too big. Now, Night Sorrow needed to confirm his location on the map. Then he would move stealthily toward the core area marked on the map. Although there were dangers at every step, with a direction and goal, he was closer to success. Night Sorrow was looking forward to the Ice Dragon bone. It was a supreme treasure that could set up the Ice Dragon sealing array. The Ice Dragon sealing array could guard the core cities of the 9-domain world. According to the thinking of ordinary people, the most important city of the 9-domain world was Seven Night City. However, Night Sorrow did not think so. He knew that the 9-domain world would become a supreme world in the future. It would be on the same level as the Reincarnation Great World, the Black-Yellow Great World, and the Jianghu Great World. At that time, the core of the world would be Clear Sky City. Now, the 9-domain world was expanding. Others might not be able to feel it, but as the Realm Lord, Night Sorrow knew that the 9-domain world was developing rapidly. Its territory was expanding. The island where the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall was located, which was the area of Clear Sky City, was also expanding. The land area was also expanding. After the rise of the 9-domain world, the defense of Clear Sky City was more crucial. It was the most important place in the 9-domain world. Chapter 12:23. As for whether he could obtain the remains of the Ice Dragon, only God knew. High-level ice dragons would enter the ancestral land of the ice dragons before they fell. If there were scattered ice dragon skeletons outside, it was because their lives had come to an end before they reached the ancestral land. As long as he could find the skeletons of the ice dragon, even if they were not the ice dragons, it would be a great harvest. After all, there would be some treasures left in the place where the ice dragon fell. Night Sorrow moved forward every day, observing the terrain as he moved forward. The only bad thing was that there were no elixirs or resources to collect in this world of ice and snow. There were a few ores, but they were relatively rare. Fortunately, Night Sorrow was not as desperate for resources as before. He had a lot of merits in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. He could exchange for any resources in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Besides, his fiancée Datura supported him greatly. She gave him a pile of Holy Spirit stones and some miscellaneous resources, which were enough for him to use. Night Sorrow did not like to kill for no reason. Every time he rested, he would boil water and make tea. However, there were still some ignorant demonic beasts that came looking for trouble. Night Sorrow did not hold back. He barbecued meat and wine, which was much better than drinking tea. Datura sometimes asked Night Sorrow about the situation. She could not do anything about the current situation. She was in the dark. Datura reminded Night Sorrow to be careful because it was not only the people from the reincarnation world that entered the Ice Dragon realm. People from the Shenhuang world and the Jianghu Great World had also entered. It was just that the entrances were different. Cultivators were in a competitive relationship. When they saw people who did not belong to them, they would kill them. It was normal to rob them of their resources. Aluo, you have seriously injured Zhan Taiyang. You have to be careful. The fact that he can cultivate the art of seizing the heavens means that he has evil intentions. Don't try to scheme against you. Night Sorrow said. He was not worried about his strength. He was worried that Datura was not as good as Zhan Taiyang in terms of scheming. I will be careful. This time I have seriously injured him, robbed his ring and sealed one of his arms. He was afraid that I would use a secret technique to attack him from his original arm, so he scattered his arm. However, his blood essence and soul imprint are still suppressed in me. If he dares to provoke me, he knows the consequences, Datura said with a smile. At this time, on seizing the Heavens Island, Zhan Taiyang's face was ugly. This time he had been badly injured by Datura. After using the art of seizing the heavens, he had lost his left arm and storage ring. Inside the storage ring was Zhan Taiyang's lifetime collection. The value of this collection was shocking. Not to mention, a part of his original body was sealed by Datura. This was the most terrifying thing. In other words, if Datura was really angry and used some secret technique, his original body would not be able to withstand it. Of course, the price of using such a secret technique to attack the original body through space might be high, but it could still destroy him. No matter how angry he was, Zhang Taiyang did not dare to provoke Dachira again. This was because Dachira could kill him even without using a secret technique. This was the most terrifying thing. After thinking about it, Zhang Taiyang called Jianghu, "Go to the Dark Abyss and negotiate with the Dark Ruler Dachira. This lord will not provoke him in the future. This lord wants to redeem the essence chi, essence blood and soul imprint of that arm. Ask him what price he wants." Yes, this subordinate will do it immediately. Jianghu nodded. He already knew the whole story because the people sent by seizing the Heaven's Island to the Ice Dragon realm had been driven back. This group did not go again. Although it was impossible for Dachira to be there watching, in fact, if seizing the Heaven's Island sent people again, it was not giving face to Dachira. If it was before, Zhang Taiyang would not care about giving face to anyone. But now he had no choice but to give face to Dachira. In the Bone Hall of the Dark Abyss, Dachira received Jianghu. Jianghu explained the purpose of his visit, and also said that Zhang Taiyang expressed that he would not be enemies with the Dark Abyss in the future. If he is sincere, then this lord has nothing to say. Resources, if he sends enough resources, that sealed arm can be returned to him. But this lord must be satisfied. Dachira, who was sitting on the bone throne, looked at Jianghu and said, "Lord Ruler, if you have any requests you can raise them. Jianghu will go back and report." Jianghu bowed and said, "I don't have any requests. Let Zhang Taiyang do as he sees fit. This lord does not care about his arm, but if this lord is not satisfied, the situation will not be very good. This lord will not use any secret technique. I will only throw his arm into the Dark Abyss to feed the evil spirits. Bring these words back. He will understand that sincerity is very important." Dachira waved his hand and began to drive people away. Jianghu bowed. He was very helpless. Dachira's words were the most deceptive. Sincerity? If it was less, it was not sincere. If it was more, how much was more? This was a big hole that was very difficult to fill. But Zhang Taiyang still had to jump into this hole. If he did not jump, then Zhang Taiyang would really be unlucky. It was very difficult to use a clone to attack the main body, but Zhang Taiyang had thrown away the main body's arm. If the main body's arm was fed to the evil spirits by Dachira, then Zhang Taiyang would be haunted by the evil spirits in the future. His soul would not be at peace. This was something Zhang Taiyang could not accept even if he was beaten to death. After hearing Jianghu's report, Zhang Taiyang slapped the table in front of him and shattered it. He was not afraid of Dachira asking for a price. He was afraid that this lion would open its mouth and ask for an exorbitant price. He still had to accept it. Positive F version of. However, Zhang Taiyang still let out a sigh of relief. At least Dachira still wanted to talk to him. If he did not talk to him, then his fate would be in the hands of Dachira. Dachira could deal with him at any time. After thinking for a while, Zhang Taiyang asked Jianghu to prepare the resources in the Seizing Heaven manner. In addition, he also asked the forces under him to provide a large amount of resources as tribute. This time he had to pay a price even if he did not want to. However, to him, nothing was more important than his own life. 2 days later, Jianghu took a few storage rings and a list of items and set off towards the Dark Abyss. Zhang Taiyang did not dare to go alone. Dachira had the ability to kill him. If Dachira turned hostile, then he would die. Sitting on the white bone throne, Dachira looked at the list and shook his head. There are many resources, but it's not enough sincerity. There are only 1 million Saint Spirit stones. I give people hundreds of thousands each time. Go back and tell Zhang Taiyang to add a little more. His life is too worthless. Add another 500,000 and I will consider. Dachira threw the list back to Jianghu. The corner of Jianghu's mouth twitched. He knew what was written on the list. There were 1 million Saint Spirit stones on the list, but there were many other rare resources. Added together they were worth at least 3 million Saint Spirit stones. Even so, Dachira was not satisfied. Tell Zhang Taiyang that he can earn more resources. He controls the northern region of the world of reincarnation. There will be no shortage of resources in the future. His life is the most important. Dachira said. Jianghu bowed and left. He still had to go back and discuss with Zhang Taiyang to continue transferring resources. There were only 1 million Saint Spirit stones in the Seizing Heaven Manor storage. After listening to Jianghu's report, Zhang Taiyang sighed. Although he knew that the resources he had taken out were sky-high prices, he knew that it was not enough. Even if it was enough, Dachura would increase the price. However, Zhang Taiyang had to accept it. When he took out the list for the first time, he did not dare to take less. Dachura was the Dark Dominator. If the resources on the list were less, the consequences would be unimaginable. Chapter 12:24. At the level of a Heaven Master who would lack resources. If Zhang Taiyang's list was too small, Dachura might not even talk about it. Therefore, even if it cost him money, Zhang Taiyang had to accept it. Heaven-seizing Manor really didn't have 500,000 Saint Spirit Stones right now. Zhang Taiyang could only order all the forces under his command to gather them. 2 days later, Zhang Taiyang had gathered 500,000 Saint Spirit Stones. Only then did he arrange for Jianghu to go to the Dark Abyss. After checking the resources, Dachura was quite satisfied. He took out an obsidian box and threw it to Jianghu. This obsidian box is for Zhang Taiyang. Tell him to behave in the future. You can leave now. I have nothing to do, so I want to take a look at the resources. I don't know what to do with so many resources, said Dachura as he weighed the storage rings in his hand. Jianghu's heart was bleeding. The resources that Heaven-Seizing Island had accumulated over the years were all taken away by Dachura in an instant. Furthermore, Heaven-Seizing Island couldn't do anything about it. After Jianghu left, Dachura snorted coldly. Hegemin, Heaven-Seizing Island has suffered a great loss this time. They will behave for a while, said Rowan with a smile. Zhang Taiyang won't dare to mess around with us now. If he does, we'll deal with him. Dachura was very happy. Then Dachura looked at Bloodthirsty and Demon Blood. The two of you are not allowed to be enemies with Night Sorrow in the future. It's all because of him that my cultivation improved so much. If anyone is an enemy, I won't be lenient. I will treat them as my enemy. Bloodthirsty and Demon Blood bowed and nodded. They didn't know what was going on, but one thing was clear. Dachura was very protective of Night Sorrow. From the fact that Dachura even sent the blood-robed guards to guard Night Sorrow's hometown, it was obvious. Demon Blood, your subordinates have suffered great losses, but that's war. In the future he won't do anything to the Dark Abyss. Dachura emphasized Demon Blood's name. After that, Dachura's body flashed and left the Bone Palace. Demon Blood, let me remind you that this is not a joke. If you continue to be enemies with Night Sorrow, the Hegemin will kill you, said Rowan. Looked at Demon Blood, who was somewhat confused. Demon Blood nodded. Although I don't know why, since the Hegemin has given the order, I will do as you say. In the Dark Abyss, Dachura was the absolute authority. She didn't need any reason to give her orders. Everyone had to obey. The Dark Abyss reputation was built by Dachura. As long as Dachura was here, the Dark Abyss would be where it was today. Every day, Night Sorrow had to travel in the cold wind. He had to use energy to protect the water he drank. Otherwise the cup would freeze and shatter. A world of ice and snow. This was the world of ice and snow beasts, the territory of ice dragons. Night Sorrow advanced day and night mainly because he had to look at the terrain and distinguish his own coordinates. Many times, Dachura would chat with him and show him how many resources he had cheated from Zhang Taiyang. Luo, do you know that in the 9 domains world, Holy Spirit Stones were once in the single digits? You guys can give us hundreds of thousands or even millions with a wave of your hand. I can't describe how I feel. Night Sorrow held the concentric crystal in one hand and the wine jar in the other. Of course, the wine jar was protected by energy. Otherwise, the wine would have turned into ice. The 9 domains world is still a low-level world. There are still high-level worlds that don't produce Holy Spirit Stones. But do you know how many subsidiary worlds and high-level worlds there are around the reincarnation world? It's normal to plunder Holy Spirit Stones, so the reincarnation world naturally has a lot of Holy Spirit Stones. When you come back, I'll give you more. Dachura's face was full of smiles. Luo, you look good when you smile, but you're scary when you're angry, said Night Sorrow. Didn't I just scold you once? Ever since we made an agreement, when have I scolded you? I know how to be a woman. I know how to get along with you, although I'm not used to it. Dachura looked at Night Sorrow and said, Aluo, thank you for everything you've done for me. I'll remember it. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood that Dachura must have made a lot of changes and adaptations. It's good that you remember. Let's not talk about such a heavy topic. When you come back we'll sit on the ground and split the spoils. That Zhan Taiyong brought a lot of treasures this time. He's really scared. Datura changed the topic. Sure. When I go back I'll see if there are any good treasures. Don't feel bad when I take them, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Genuine? Song Fu, when you reach the monarch realm, what's mine will be yours. But at the same time what's yours will be mine. You'll have to hand over everything. Datura's face was full of smiles. Okay, no problem. I'm in a hurry. Let's talk later. Night Sorrow nodded. Then Night Sorrow continued on his journey. After breaking the concentric crystal, Datura fell into deep thought. When she saw Night Sorrow, Datura opened it. That meant that her marriage was coming. She was a little hesitant at first, but after getting along with him she felt that it was a good thing. Night Sorrow's personality was very charming, and she felt that she was willing to get close to him. Datura knew that this was fate. Everything was decided by the heavens. She had been alone for countless years. Now that she had this feeling she was looking forward to what kind of future Night Sorrow would have. She was very clear about the dominance of the supreme attributes. Night Sorrow's Will of the Void attribute had already reached the peak of 30%. His path was smooth. All he needed was time. After thinking for a while, Datura stretched her waist. Her body shook and there were two people. The clone stayed in the dark abyss while the original body left through the teleportation portal. She missed Lord Yu and Qing Yan. She wanted to accompany the two kids. She really liked the two kids. Night Sorrow continued to move forward every day. One day Night Sorrow came to the foot of a mountain. At the foot of the mountain there was a glacier river flowing. Seeing the terrain, Night Sorrow was stunned. He took out a map and looked around. Soon he found it. There was a mark on the map, Mysterious Ice River. Seeing this mark, Night Sorrow quickly retreated. There were demonic beasts in the Mysterious Ice River. There was a record in a book. Although the demonic beasts here were not ice dragons, they were still extremely powerful. They were called Mysterious Jade Beasts. Mysterious Jade Beasts could cultivate to the level of king. They could even grow to the level of monarchs and sky masters. After entering this place, Night Sorrow felt that he should retreat first and slowly study it. There were opportunities in the Mysterious Ice River. There was some purple sand, which was the material that North Star had given to Night Sorrow. After retreating for a while, Night Sorrow found a secret place and took out a map to look carefully. The Mysterious Ice River was the outer region of the Ice Dragon world. However, one could reach the core region of the Ice Dragon world by following the river. The Glacier River flowed from the Ice Dragon Abyss in the core region of the Ice Dragon world. Putting away the map, Night Sorrow thought about whether he should continue or not. There might be mysterious jade beasts in the Mysterious Ice River, but there would definitely be purple sand. Night Sorrow took out a jar of wine and drank 2 mouthfuls. Chapter 12:25. So good to see. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow felt that he could go take a look. He brought the 8-dragon cauldron and could control it to enter the Glacier River to find the purple time gravel. If he could find it, he would have profited. After making his decision, Night Sorrow entered the 8-dragon cauldron and controlled it to fly forward in the snow. The 8-dragon cauldron was a king artifact. Night Sorrow had changed the main material of the cauldron to a high-grade one and also improved the array. When the 8-dragon cauldron was upgraded, Night Sorrow felt that it was much more difficult than refining a king artifact. The main reason was that the 8-dragon cauldron had an artifact spirit. Night Sorrow could not harm the artifact spirit, so it was more difficult. The result of the difficulty was that the 8-dragon cauldron was much more powerful than ordinary king artifacts. This was because even a king artifact spirit was extremely difficult to nurture. The 8-dragon cauldron had an artifact spirit because the Medicine Valley had nurtured it for many years. The 8-dragon cauldron had absorbed the faith power of the Medicine Valley's disciples. Night Sorrow controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to fly in the snow. He approached the profound ice river and then entered it. Night Sorrow then controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to slowly dive. The purple time gravel could only be found at the bottom of the profound ice river. It was washed down by the profound ice river and settled to the bottom of the river. This was also why the purple time gravel could only be found here. The purple time gravel was very heavy. It was washed down by the profound ice river and would settle to the bottom of the river. Translator, Zephizi Editor. Dioquin. After diving to the bottom of the river, Night Sorrow began to search for the purple time gravel. At the same time, he used his soul power to scan the surroundings. He did not want to see a profound jade beast suddenly appear. The profound jade beast was a talented tiger. Because of the conflict between the dragon and the tiger, the profound jade beast was not a match for the ice dragon and was expelled from the core of the ice dragon domain. Although they were not as strong as the ice dragon, their combat power was undeniable. After searching for 2 hours, they crossed the wide Black Ice River. Night Sorrow arrived at the bottom of the river near the Black Ice River. At this time, Night Sorrow found something. He saw the purple sand of time, which was an area with a whirlpool. A small pile of time purple sand was there, but it would be difficult for Night Sorrow to get it. Outside the whirlpool, there was a profound jade beast with a body like a pavilion. The Xian jade beast had the head of a tiger, the tail of a lion, and the body of a legendary Qilin. Its body was covered with white jade-like scales. A 5-star king-level Xian jade beast. Night Sorrow discovered that this was a 5-star king's profound jade beast. 5-star king's Night Sorrow wasn't afraid. He could fight. Back when he hadn't mastered the will of nothingness, he had fought against the 5-star king Wuxia. But this was the profound ice great river. Once the battle started, who knew if there would be other profound jade beasts coming out? If a group of profound jade beasts came out, it would be fun. Night Sorrow wouldn't be able to run even if he wanted to. Night Sorrow controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to slowly approach the whirlpool where the time purple sand was. After approaching the whirlpool, the 8-dragon cauldron blended into the time purple sand and waited for an opportunity. Night Sorrow was close to the time purple sand, but it was difficult to collect it. This was because once he did, there would be energy fluctuations and it would be easy to discover. Wait. Opportunities were waiting. Night Sorrow had to wait. Half a day passed. When the profound jade beast flipped over, Night Sorrow's soul power erupted and directly sucked a pile of time purple sand into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then he controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to slip away with the current and mix with the sand. It floated a distance away before smashing into the bottom of the river. The profound jade beast flipped over and continued to lie down without moving. Steady. Success. The time purple sand was in his hands. Night Sorrow circled around and continued to control the 8-dragon cauldron to fly against the current. This was because he wanted to follow the profound ice river to the interior of the ice dragon realm. Moreover, there was time purple sand in this area. He wouldn't be able to get anything if he followed the shore. The profound ice river was very large. Night Sorrow slowly moved in the current. After collecting 2 piles of time purple sand, he saw many profound jade beasts. However, Night Sorrow didn't alarm these fierce beasts. Countless years had passed and there were no outsiders. This caused the profound jade beasts to lose their vigilance. The main reason was that Night Sorrow didn't have any hostility or killing intent. He didn't arouse their vigilance. When he was about to leave the profound jade river, Night Sorrow saw a skeleton. The skeleton was the size of a small hill. It was a profound jade beast. This skeleton was at a bend in the profound ice river. The mountain-like body was squatting there. It didn't have any aura of life. In other aspects, it was exactly the same as when it was alive. Its eyes carried an aura of disdain for everything. The white scales on its body emitted a cold luster. Collect. This was a treasure. Night Sorrow knew that if a profound jade beast wasn't a monarch or a high-level king, it wouldn't have such an aura. The aura of the 5-star king profound jade beast he encountered was far inferior to this one. It couldn't be compared at all. It would be difficult to collect this big guy. The 8-dragon cauldron was very large. It wouldn't be a problem to collect a few of these skeletons. However, when collecting them, it would cause a big commotion. If there were any profound jade beasts nearby, they would be discovered. The more critical the moment was, the calmer and more cautious Night Sorrow was. He didn't rush to the skeleton. Instead, he patrolled the river. Night Sorrow patrolled the area within a 200-mile radius. He found only one profound ice beast. It was a 3-star king profound jade beast. Night Sorrow waited for this eyesore to leave. However, a few days passed and the eyesore didn't move. Night Sorrow continued to wait. However, a few more days passed and the eyesore didn't move. This made Night Sorrow irritated. He needed the skeleton of the profound ice beast, but he couldn't take it away now. Kill. Night Sorrow decided to kill this eyesore. Night Sorrow had a plan. A 3-star king profound ice beast. Night Sorrow could kill it in one hit. Night Sorrow believed in the power of the great emperor reincarnation / After controlling the 8-dragon cauldron to approach this eyesore, Night Sorrow discovered that this eyesore was very beautiful. The scales on its body emitted a jade-like luster, the hair on its neck was very smooth from the water, and the single horn on its head was crystal clear. After approaching this eyesore, Yishan took out Splitter and informed the artifact spirit of the 8-dragon cauldron to control the energy fluctuations so that they wouldn't spread out too strongly. Night Sorrow was ready. When the profound ice beast turned around, Night Sorrow made his move. He rushed out of the 8-dragon cauldron and attacked with the space splitter. Night Sorrow used his ultimate move, the Great Emperor Reincarnation Slash. After the purple halo covered the profound ice beast, Night Sorrow's space splitter pierced towards the profound ice beast's head. At this time the profound ice beast moved. Its head turned in the purple halo and looked at Night Sorrow. Its big eyes were full of confusion. It didn't struggle or roar. When the space splitter arrived in front of the profound ice beast's head, Night Sorrow couldn't do it. It was because of the profound ice beast's eyes. One man and one beast stared at each other. Night Sorrow was puzzled. He had seen a lot of profound ice beasts. Those profound ice beasts' eyes were full of madness and killing intent. However, this one wasn't. Its eyes were very clear. Night Sorrow couldn't bear to do it. "I won't hurt you. Don't get in my way. Leave this area and don't shout." Night Sorrow used his soul power to convey his message to the profound ice beast. Chapter 12:26. Br the Shen Ice Beast nodded, not really understanding. It lacked intelligence and survival experience. Yishang felt that this profound ice beast was very different from other profound ice beasts. This profound ice beast's intelligence aside, it was as pure as a piece of white paper. Seeing that this Shen Ice Beast didn't want to mess around with him, Night Sorrow turned and left. He didn't even enter the 8-dragon cauldron. He directly rushed towards the skeleton of the Shen Ice Beast. Night Sorrow was looking forward to it. He felt that it was very likely to be the skeleton of the Shen Ice Beast King. If it was, then it would be a huge gain. When he arrived at the skeleton, Night Sorrow's soul power erupted and moved the Shen Ice Beast into the 8-dragon cauldron. Just as Night Sorrow was about to leave, he found that the Shen Ice Beast that had been bothering him had followed him. "Why are you still following me? I won't hurt you, so don't bother me." Night Sorrow once again used his soul power to transmit his message. The Shen Ice Beast looked at Night Sorrow and shook its head. Instead, it responded in a very friendly manner and nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow felt that there really was a problem. He felt that this Shen Ice Beast was different from other Shen Ice Beasts. Normally speaking, the powerful Shen Ice Beast skeleton's might was very strong. Ordinary Shen Ice Beasts wouldn't come close. But this Shen Ice Beast was living here, and its intelligence was like a piece of white paper. It had the strength of a 3-star king, but when he was about to attack, it didn't know how to fight back. After thinking about it, Night Sorrow felt that he could bring it along. After Jianghu transformed, he really lacked a mount. Jianghu was his brother, so he couldn't ride him anymore. This Shen Ice Beast hadn't transformed and it lived alone. Bringing it along might be a good choice. Then Night Sorrow asked the Shen Ice Beast if it was willing to follow him. Just as Night Sorrow thought, the Shen Ice Beast really nodded. Night Sorrow felt that it was a good idea. In the future he would spend some time educating and teaching it about the world and how to fight. This time it was easy. Night Sorrow controlled the 8-dragon cauldron to enter the profound Jade Beast's neck hair. After the profound Ice Beast carried it, they walked in the ice river below the profound ice river. The profound ice beast naturally had no enmity towards the profound ice beast, so the energy fluctuations were nothing. Night Sorrow could easily collect the time purple sand. Night Sorrow felt that his luck was pretty good. Not only did he get a mount, but he also got a lot of time purple sand. The time purple sand could be used to refine weapons and defensive equipment with time formations. Even cultivators who were not of the time attribute could use it, and it was extremely powerful. Because the time purple sand itself had the time attribute, when Night Sorrow's artifact refining and array formations improved, he would be able to refine this kind of top-quality king artifact. After plundering enough, Night Sorrow let the profound ice beast get on the profound ice river and walk along the river towards the ice dragon realm. The profound ice beast was extremely fast. It was a spirit beast with extraordinary talent. Normally it should be called the profound ice Qilin beast, but Night Sorrow's notes simply called it the profound ice beast. Night Sorrow named this mount Ice Qilin. Night Sorrow instilled some battle concepts into it. A tyrannical mount that didn't know how to fight was useless. With a body bigger than a tent, the Ice Qilin flew very steadily. Even if it was running on the ground, it was still extremely fast. Once again, when Night Sorrow was resting in the camp, Datura and Night Sorrow arrived. Through the concentric crystal, Datura saw the ice Qilin lying on the side. That's the profound ice Qilin tiger? Yes, it's currently my mount. Night Sorrow nodded and explained the situation. How is that possible? What's going on? Why don't I understand? Datura was very puzzled. How could a king-level demon beast follow someone else as a mount? Not bad. It's fast and ferocious. I don't participate in army battles now. If I participate in army battles and ride the ice Qilin, how domineering and awe-inspiring would that be? Night Sorrow said with a smile. He was also in an extremely good mood. You can indeed do it. It's very difficult to tame a demon beast with extraordinary talent. It's even more impossible to tame one after entering the king level. With this mount, you'll have a great advantage in the periphery of the ice dragon realm. Some demon beasts won't attack it, but once you reach the center of the ice dragon realm, let alone the core, you'll have to put it away. In a fierce battle, the ice dragon will be especially sensitive to it. Datura reminded Night Sorrow. Aluo, I also obtained the skeleton of a profound ice beast. It's very shocking, but I don't know what level it is. Night Sorrow said. Datura treated it sincerely, so he wouldn't hide anything from Datura. Take it out and let me see. Datura said. Night Sorrow nodded and walked out of the tent. He took the mountain-like skeleton of the profound ice beast out of the 8-dragon cauldron. The profound ice beast king is the profound ice Qilin tiger king. It's a giant that surpassed the monarch level. It's perfectly preserved, and its value is comparable to the ice dragon skeleton. Night Sorrow, come back. This is enough. Datura said. How can you be sure that it's the profound ice Qilin tiger king? Night Sorrow asked. Although I didn't get close to it and couldn't feel its aura, its eyes were ice eyes. This means that it had perfected the will of water when it was alive. This skeleton is complete. It's a monarch-level array master. If its godly pearl is used as the core, it can set up a powerful array. Datura explained to Night Sorrow. The reason why the ice dragon skeleton was so valuable and was called a treasure was because the skeleton was complete. The energy in the body was still there, but it had lost its consciousness. The empty soul pearl could recognize a master. If the ice dragon skeleton was used as the core to set up an array, the array would be so powerful that even a giant couldn't break it. When the master of the array recognized the godly pearl in the skeleton as its master, he could control the array. The ice dragon skeleton became a puppet that could control the array. What kind of power was that? The profound ice Qilin tiger king now had such an effect. It was no different from the ice dragon skeleton. If I didn't have the ability to protect the profound ice Qilin tiger king skeleton, I would go back now. Now that I have the ability to protect the treasures in my hands, even if I die, the 9-region origin pearl can take everything I have and leave. Night Sorrow didn't plan to go back. Now that he had gained something, it was different from what he had expected. He hadn't reached the center of the ice dragon realm yet. Night Sorrow wanted the ice dragon's blood essence. His original body still had a lot of room for improvement. The materials to improve his body's strength were especially important. You rascal, once you've made up your mind, you can't be persuaded. Now that you've reaped a great harvest, you should be more cautious. Don't hold the mentality of fighting to the death. We can live very well now, said Mandela. I know. I'm not here to die. I'll be careful. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. The 9-region world is very stable now. When your array skills reach a certain level, you can set up an array with the profound ice Qilin tiger king skeleton in 7 Night City. 7 Night City will be indestructible. Datura said. In Inversion Plus. Chapter J. Section Z. Chapter 1227. My array formation skills have improved, but it's still not enough. We'll talk about it later. Otherwise, I'll have to ask my master for help. I don't want to trouble my master, Night Sorrow said. Yes, 7 Night City is stable now. You don't have to worry. The Bloodstrike guards are watching the teleportation array. If anyone tries to cause trouble, they'll be killed. Datura nodded. She understood Night Sorrow's character from his information. He wasn't willing to ask for help. Luo 7 Night City is actually secondary. What I really care about is Clear Sky City. You know that I have the supreme attribute. The core of the world I refined is the supreme origin. The 9-domain world will become a supreme world in the future, Night Sorrow said. You're saying that not only do you have the supreme attribute, but the 9-domain world's origin you control is also the void origin? Datura was shocked. She knew that Night Sorrow had the void attribute and that Night Sorrow was a realm lord. However, she didn't expect the 9-domain world's origin to be the supreme origin. Yes, the origin of the 9-domain world wasn't the supreme origin. It's like this. Night Sorrow explained how he refined the origin of the void space and used it to repair the 9-domain world. He also explained how the origin of the two worlds merged. So that's how it is. Your idea is correct. Clear Sky City, where the origin of the 9-domain world manifests, needs to be protected. There's a great array guarding it. 7 Night City can only be considered a gateway, not the core. Datura still couldn't calm down. Currently, in the Great Thousand World, experts were as common as clouds. However, there were very few realm lords. Even if there were, they were in ordinary worlds. There were no high-level realm lords. Night Sorrow was now the realm lord of a supreme world. This was too shocking. Yen Qianpa was the realm lord of the Wuji world. However, the Wuji world was only the core origin of a fire attribute world. After chatting with Datura, Night Sorrow rested for a while. He drank some wine and entered the dragon cauldron. He hid the dragon cauldron in the white fur on the ice cheelan's neck and let the ice cheelan advance along the profound ice river. The ice cheelan was a native demonic beast of the ice dragon realm. Ordinary demonic beasts would not attack them. At most, they would chase them away. Demonic beasts had their own territories. If other demonic beasts entered their territories without permission, they would be expelled. If they didn't leave, they would have to fight to the death. Night Sorrow was controlling the ice cheelan. Under such circumstances, how could Night Sorrow not let the ice cheelan retreat? Datura's original body stayed in the city in the sky. Every day she would play with Datura and Qing Yan. With her taking care of the 2 children, Yu Qing and the others were relieved. They all knew that in the future, Datura would be Night Sorrow's woman. They were all family, so it was better to be close to the children. Everyone knew what kind of status Datura had. He didn't put on any airs, so it was rare for him to get along with everyone. This made Yu Qing, Sikong Chuyu and the others feel relieved. No one wanted an unstable factor in their family, especially one that they couldn't control. If Datura was capricious, who could control him at home? Night Sorrow couldn't control him either. After all, he was so strong. Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei Aoi, and the others were all in the city in the sky. Night Sorrow used the time and space pagoda in the Samsara Palace. They were studying realms and fighting techniques. When he saw that there was something wrong with everyone's cultivation or something they needed, Datura would say that he had a vision. A few words from him would be a clear path. Night Sorrow stayed in the dragon cauldron. He also used his soul power to explore. If there were good ores, he could still find them. The way of heaven was fair. The climate in the ice dragon realm was harsh. Some plants, which were natural treasures needed for alchemy, were rare. However, there were more top-grade ores. After a few days, Night Sorrow had a big harvest. He obtained a reincarnation stone, which was the material for the reincarnation blade. This made Night Sorrow very happy. Now that his original body was busy cultivating, there was no battle, so he didn't deal with the reincarnation stone. In fact, the reincarnation stone still had a lot of room for improvement. Lin Yuandao helped Night Sorrow to upgrade the reincarnation stone. At that time, it was a spiritual weapon. Later, after being nourished by the heaven-sealing Great Hall, it absorbed the divine weapon Qi in the 9 regions origin Qi and became a king weapon. However, in the end, the refinement was very rough. The formations that Lin Yuandao carved in the reincarnation stone were all ordinary formations. Not to mention king-level formations, they weren't even saint-level formations. However, if Night Sorrow wanted to upgrade the reincarnation stone, he needed materials. The reincarnation stone to upgrade the strength of the blade was very important. Now that he had obtained the reincarnation stone, it was very important for Night Sorrow. In addition, under Night Sorrow's thinking, the Ice Cheelan also knew about battles. It would kill some demonic beasts that provoked it. Night Sorrow realized that the Ice Cheelan was a little dull at the beginning. It was an eyesore. However, after a battle, its combat power was extremely strong. Some 3-star king-level demonic beasts were easily killed. Night Sorrow felt that the Ice Cheelan relied on its tyrannical body and valiant fighting style. Even a 4-star king-level demonic beast might not be its opponent. During the journey, the Ice Cheelan was chased away twice. Because the other party was strong, Knight Sorrow told the Ice Qilin not to resist and to take a detour after leaving the other party's territory. Easy. Knight Sorrow knew that the Ice Qilin was leading him. The reason it was so smooth was because the Ice Qilin was a native beast. As long as the Ice Qilin was willing to back down, the other high-level beasts wouldn't kill him. If it were him, the Lord-level beasts would directly attack. They wouldn't stop until they were dead. When Dachura was free, he would chat with Knight Sorrow. However, he did so behind others' backs. He didn't want Knight Sorrow's family to worry. When Knight Sorrow wasn't around, Dachura went to the lake. Every time he went to the lake, he would chat with Knight Sorrow. In the Azure Sky Pavilion, the Qing Emperor and Shen Daozi were talking. Dachura had almost killed Zhang Taiyang. This was something that the Qing Emperor and Shen Daozi had seen with their own eyes. Zhang Taiyang had paid a high price to redeem one of his arms. This matter was also known by the Qing Emperor's secret agents. Dachura is really strong now. Zhang Taiyang has kicked an iron plate this time. Shen Daozi said. In the past, there were strong and weak powerhouses among the powerhouses. However, it was impossible for anyone to kill anyone. Therefore there was a balance. No one would force anyone into a corner. If they were forced into a corner, they would act recklessly. Everyone had their misgivings. However, Dachura doesn't have this concern now because she has the strength to kill a Sky Master. This time she didn't want to go too far. If she wanted to go too far and continue to chase, Zhang Taiyang wouldn't even dare to return to Sky Seizing Island. The leader of the northern district of the world of reincarnation would have changed hands. The Qing Emperor said. Chapter 4. Previous chapter. In the past, Dachura wasn't this strong. It was only after meeting Knight Sorrow that she became so fierce. Is there a connection between the two? If he has a way to help Dachura increase her strength, it wouldn't make sense if he didn't help His Majesty. Shen Daozi said. This was what he was thinking. He felt that he had to say it out loud. What nonsense are you spouting? If I hadn't come to find His Majesty, would it be your fault if there was a conflict between His Majesty and His Majesty? Summer City, who had just arrived at the Azure Sky Pavilion, glared at Shen Daozi. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.